Big derby match here live on Talksport 2 tonight. Sunderland 1-0 winners. Chris Rigg actually got the goal when they met earlier in the season in September. Rigg, the bright young talent for Sunderland, one of many bright young talents they've got in that side. I mean, you're quite excited for Sunderland in terms of what they've got in terms of attacking players, but you can't help but imagine that Bellingham and Patterson, the goalkeeper, and even Rigg might get cherry-picked away if Sunderland can't get promotion. Well,
and that's the big thing, isn't it? I think to keep hold of these players, they have to at least get into the playoffs, if not promotion, because as you say, all eyes are on them, especially Joe Bellingham as well, just because of his last name. Obviously the sort of relationship with him and his brother, and I think there's been more eyes on him, but I think for me he's stepped up, he's shown what he's about, he's actually forged his own way and he's a player in his own right. But as you say, with it, when it comes with these fantastic young players that you nurture, there's always that opportunity for, as you say, a Premier League side or one of the elite leagues around the world to come in and cherry pick. So that's why it is so important for Sunderland to try and get promotion, as it is every year. But they've got a real good balance, and I think as well with the manager coming in, Lebris, and everyone seems to love him. I've not heard a bad word said about him, and the players coming to play for him. So yeah, it's a great time to be a Sunderland fan, but they have to really push to get in the Premier League.
And in terms of Middlesbrough, Michael Carrick's been here a couple of seasons now. He has had to oversee changes in his squad. He's had to cut costs accordingly. But in fairness, just laid out £8 million on Whittaker. They are still spending some cash, and I think you could sense the disappointment early on when we spoke to Craig John. Just that disappointment they're not maybe. Oh look, a point they are in the top six tonight, but maybe they feel they should be a bit higher up.
Yeah, and I do get that, because I think when you look at the journey that Michael Carrick's been on, I think they were 20th Middlesbrough when he comes in. So in terms of that season, that is a really positive season. You keep him in the Championship, simple as that. The next one, because they had so many loan players, he's having to do a rebuild, and then you're losing players like Chuba Akpom as well as a lot of loans. So I think this season, rightly so, there was a lot of hope. They were set, in the summer, spent some good money, and you're expecting them maybe to be more set, I would say, in that top six, because as you say, yes, they're there, but it's very close. And I think just looking at the table, that top four, in my opinion, is very set. That's not going to change. So then it's who's fighting it out for those other two places. And both West Brom, Blackburn and Middlesbrough, they've all almost been as inconsistent as each other. So for me, there's a positive and there's a negative in that, but there's also the positive. If any of those teams can put a good run together, they'll really fancy themselves. Though what I will say, obviously, about West Brom is not long brought Tony Mowbray in, so sooner rather than later you'd expect them to find some rhythm and find some form. So sooner rather than later, Middlesbrough have got to find that consistency.
Yeah, they have. Sunderland will be well aware they've not won here in a league game. They did win an FA Cup tie here after extra time, but they've not won here in nearly 20 years. I mean, that's some record. There's quite a few games in there.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive, isn't it? And that's why, for me, Sunderland are the form team coming in, but just looking at history, what this game means, and yeah, that's why I think I've erred on the side of caution and gone for the score draw tonight.
Okay, well, we will see what happens. It is building up here. The seats have filled up around us. There's a load of flags away to our left-hand side, the red and white flags. There's a big tifo away to the right-hand side. There's not a seat to be had in that away section over on the far side. Tickets like gold dust, I would suggest, for those wanting to get in here tonight. It was tough to get a ticket even in the home section as the PA kicks in. Wow, it is loud. Hopefully the game will be as loud as the atmosphere ahead of the game here. It is packed to the rafters around us here at the Riverside. It's another huge week of sport over on Talksport right now. Chelsea take on West Ham in the Premier League. That's live with Adrian Durham, Sam Matterface and the former England midfielder Danny Murphy. Tomorrow night we're live back in the Championship again as Burnley take on Oxford. That's on Talksport 2. Ian Danton, the former Sunderland man Mickey Gray. Wednesday, Women's League Cup semi-final action on Talksport 2. Chelsea take on West Ham. Joe Shannon alongside former England star Leanne Sanderson. And we've got the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg as Newcastle take on Arsenal. Live on Talksport Wednesday night. Adrian Durham, Sam Matterface and the former England captain Stuart Pearce. Thursday, again, Arsenal take on Manchester City. Women's League Cup semi-final. Joe Shannon alongside Leanne Sanderson again. And it's Liverpool against Spurs live in the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg. Hugh Croft, Jim Brownfoot and the former former Watford striker Troy Deeney, our commentary team. And then it's FA Cup weekend, and we have got the FA Cup covered every which way across the Talksport network. Teams out the red of Middlesbrough, and it's a changed strip of Sunderland. What an atmosphere this is, Courtney Sweetman-Kerr.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. The light show, the big fire cannons, all the fans, as you can hear, are in fine voice. The build-up's been fantastic, and all I can hope is that the game lives up to this expectation, because the fans are certainly playing their part pre-match.
Yeah, they are. Middlesbrough with Mark Travis making his debut, signed on loan from Bournemouth in the week. Luke Ayling, George Edmondson, Ram Vandenberg and Ryan Giles the back four. Hayden Morrison, Hayden Hackney in midfield. Morgan Whittaker makes his debut, having joined for $8 million from Plymouth. He joins Finn Azaz and Delano Bergzorg in the middle. Marcus Force leading the line in the absence of Emmanuel Lette-Lad, who we understand is closing in on a move to the MLS. For Borough, Sunderland, just the one change. Chris Rigg is back in. It's Patterson in goal, Hugh, Meffam, O'Neill and Sirkin across the middle. Bellingham and Neal in midfield, with Lafay, Rigg and Roberts behind Wilson Isidore, who leads the line. The all-red of Borough, the all-white of Sunderland here. It's the Tees Weir derby. It's nearly time for all the talking to stop. Can Borough keep up their great record here against Sunderland, or can Sunderland close the gap on the top two here? And that's the thing, Courtney, tonight. Yes, a point will get Borough into the top six, as Kelechi Iheanacho is unveiled as a Middlesbrough player. Comes out onto the field here, former Leicester man, former Manchester City man. And I think if ever we did need confirmation that Lette-Lad is on his way out, then that signing is it, on loan from Sevilla.
Yeah, but in terms of bringing Iheanacho in, I think it's a good signing, isn't it, for Borough to bring him in. He's got bags of experience both in the Premier League and in the Championship. Knows how to get out of the Championship and knows how to play in the Premier League once you do that. So just that little bit of extra buzz as well around the stadium, bringing him out, unveiling him to the fans, and Middlesbrough will be hoping that that's the push that they really need tonight to get them over the line.
Sunderland have been in great form. They went to Burnley. Had they won at Burnley, they would have jumped into the top two. They missed that opportunity. They're 6 points behind. They've got a game in hand tonight. They win here. They're back within 3 points of the top two. Automatic is still very much on their agenda.
Yeah, it is, but again, they've got to be consistent. It's so close, but Leeds and Sheffield United, they're setting such a pace at the moment, and even when they're not playing overly well, those two sides, they're grinding out wins, and I think that's what obviously Sunderland have got to do. There's been a few moments, not too dissimilar to Borough really, where there've been a few mistakes, they've conceded late goals, but they're still in touching distance, and that's the main thing.
They are indeed. We're about to get underway. Middlesbrough going from left to right. Mark Travers all in yellow away to our left, making his Borough debut. And Anthony Patterson all in green. He stood way outside his penalty areas. He gets the first pass back to him, and we're underway. And Sunderland quickly go long, looking towards Bellingham, who's beaten in the air. The ball will come down midway inside the Borough half. It's edged forward by Morgan Whittaker, his first touch as a Borough player, and then it's thumped downfield, and O'Neill will turn and retreat and watch the ball go out of play. It is a double header on Talksport tonight. If you've got the Talksport app, you can swipe left and right between Chelsea and West Ham in the Premier League, and Borough Sunderland here in the Championship. What a great atmosphere it is. I'm looking around, I cannot see barely an empty seat in this fantastic ground here, as Patterson is toying with Middlesbrough on the edge of his own box, and it's heart and mouth stuff as he eventually clears it long, but Borough win it, and Azaz just miscontrolled it there, but just a little bit of signs there that Borough are going to press high up the field, although going the other way they've got to be tidy at the back, and they are, as Ayling pokes it back to Travers. And both keepers have had an early touch here, and now there's a foul conceded by Sunderland. It was Dennis Sirkin who bundled into the back of the new man Morgan Whittaker for a free kick to Middlesbrough.
Well, you just saw as soon as Ayling got the ball there, Sunderland going high with that press, and I think Craig mentioned it, if anyone's seen the goal they conceded against Preston, that second one, everyone will understand why that they're going to be high in that press at times, Sunderland, because we know Borough, they make mistakes at the back, mistakes that lead to goals. I think there's actually the most in the Championship. So that's some of the reasons why they've lacked that little bit of consistency that we're talking about.
Well, here's Giles down the left. He feeds it forward now. They're going to get a cross into the area, and it's missed at the near post. It'll fall to Ayling, edge of the box. He'll pull it back. It's hit on the first time of Askin, and it's cleared away. It was Morris with a shot, and the ball falls edge of the area here to Whittaker. Can he work it out wide? He does. Bergzorg has it wide on the right-hand side. Little step, feeds it down the line to Whittaker, whose cross is blocked. And following up here is Azaz. He'll keep the ball in play for Middlesbrough. Bright start from the Borough here as they have it down by the corner flag. They're going to work it back here to Ayling. Ayling's got a chance to stand up the cross, whips it in to the penalty spot. It's cleared away as far as Giles brings it down edge of the box and goes back towards halfway, and Borough will build again. But a bright start from those in red, although misplaced pass will force them back. But that was half an opening. The ball in from the left hand side, just crucially behind too many men in red shirts, as now they're trying to work in the angle, and just for a moment Bergzorg thought he got in, but Patterson was quickly out to save the day for Sunderland. Still 0-0.
Yeah, but it's a really good start, and exactly what you want on Derby Day when you're at home, in terms of being on that front foot, being aggressive. And Sunderland know already, of course they knew coming into the game, that it was going to be tough, but Middlesbrough with that start just reinforcing it.
Long ball forward for Sunderland is away from the front man Isidore, and it's eased back by Vandenberg. And here now it's trouble for Travers, who almost got caught in possession there. He was running across his own goal about 2 yards out, and he was very fortunate there. If Isidore had put a tackle in there, Courtney, that would have been a goal.
Yes.
Could be a chance here as they have it down the right. My apologies there for cutting you off, Courtney, as the ball works in from that Sunderland right hand side. A little bit reluctant there, Rig, to put the cross in. It looked like it was on, and now 09 will have it, and every Sunderland player bar Patterson is inside the Borough half. Here now forward comes Lafay on the left hand side, squares it back to 09, 30 yards out, just moves the ball across the field as Borough just look to keep their shape and move and slide across in defence. And now it's on the right. Sunderland whip a ball in, and there was Travers. But just going back to that Travers touch, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, the Riverside, well, everyone in a Borough shirt was high in mouths, weren't they?
Yeah, the thing is, instead of letting the ball come across his body and taking it with his left foot, he brings it across with his right, and he almost goes backwards towards his own goal. And you're right with Isidore, he was so close, and I don't know, maybe early on in the game he doesn't maybe want to start lunging, and if he doesn't get the ball he's thinking, I'm going to maybe get myself on a yellow card. But for me, I'd be lunging at that, because if you get a touch on it, it's in the back of the net, because he was basically walking across his goal line there, Travers.
He was. Just seen Trey Hume leave one on Delano Bergzorg, and a free kick taken quickly. Whittaker's played a great ball in. Luke Ayling racing in down the right hand side on goal. Can he find a teammate? Dwelt too long, puts it in for the header, beaten away by Patterson. Borough still have it far side. Shot comes in, blocked towards the edge of the area, and it's cleared away. Patterson with a decisive save to keep it level at 0-0.
Well, they're doing ever so well here, Borough. I mean, Luke Ayling, the fact he's got that much space down the right-hand side, Sunderland will be very worried, and he bides his time. I thought the moment had gone. He doesn't get the cross in early, takes too many touches, I thought initially, but then does really well to dig the cross out, and it's the back post header. Patterson saves ever so well.
Here's Azaz. He finds Whittaker. Whittaker looked like he was going to shoot on his left foot, and as he tried to go on the outside, the ball cannons off a defender, hits Whittaker and goes behind. I think he could have had a shot there, maybe. He should have had a shot. Still 0-0.
Yeah, and I think he's probably trying to steer it onto his left foot to get that shot off, but I think if he takes it on with his right, he's better served. But, you know, in terms of Ayling, I think he does really well to dig this ball out, and it's fours. He does really well because he's on the 6-yard box and actually backtracks a little bit. It's a very good header, but equal to the save from Patterson. Has to react quickly as at full stretch to palm it away to relative safety.
Borough have it inside their own half. You're live on Talksport 2, Mark Wilson with the former Liverpool women's striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. Busy week of women's football action. The League Cup semi-finals both live on Talksport on Wednesday and Thursday night, including a rematch of Manchester City going to Arsenal. I was at the Joy Stadium yesterday. 7 goals they shared between them. It was a heck of a game. Hopefully it'll be the same again on Thursday, as the ball works its way wide to Ayling again, who's seen a lot of the ball out on this right-hand side. Little nutmeg there on Giles. Gets the ball back off Whittaker, and it looks like those two have struck up a pretty good relationship early on in their Borough careers.
Yeah, it's really interesting actually how Whittaker, he's peeling in, leaving a lot of space for Luke Ayling on the right-hand side, and actually Now, in terms of Sirkin, he is getting drawn to Whittaker, so there is so much space for Ayling, and that's where Sirkin, potentially Bellingham, they've got to have that relationship to be able to make sure that Ayling is covered when that ball gets switched from left to right.
Ball forward by Travers, headed away. Sunderland just can't get hold of it at the moment. Rigg beaten in the air, and the ball will roll out over on the far side, and Borough will get it back with George Edmondson. One of 5 Borough changes tonight after that defeat at Preston last time out. Ball in the Borough half. They'll play it across to this near side. Vandenberg has it. Looks towards Ayling on the right, the former Leeds defender. He plays it long. He thought it was taken after he'd played the ball forward. Referee's having none of it. It's flicked onto Isidore. He can't control it. Sunderland at the moment, Courtney, they just can't get Isidore involved, can they? He's not really had a good touch yet. No,
he's really isolated, and they're trying to get Rigg actually up a little bit higher with him now, so they almost revert to a 4-4-2 out of possession, and Rigg joins Isidore, but still they've got to get the ball back first of all, and Middlesbrough have had so much possession so far.
What we do know about Sunderland, they do like to hit on the break, so they are used to going periods without having the ball. They'll be patient, they'll look to pounce when they can. But Borough having plenty of it at the moment, not necessarily using it at the moment to the best of their ability. A couple of misplaced passes, and all of a sudden Travers has it, and he now again has a touch and knocks it long over the head of Whittaker. That'll be one bounce and out for a throw in. Michael Carrick is organising his team down below us, and so Regis Lebris is just stood on the edge of his technical area, looks quite calm and collected. What a first year it's been for him. Sunderland threatening the automatic promotion places. As again, Patterson, that was a risky pass. Maybe I'm getting old, Courtney, I don't know. It always scares me when they do that inside their own penalty area, but Sunderland work it towards halfway. Here's Rigg, but he loses out, and Borough will bring it forward now, and here's Hayden Hackney, gets it out wide on the left. Borough flooding forward, trying to go past 1 and 2 on the far side. Bergzorg plays it out, but Patterson has, let's put it this way, he backs his passing ability, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and it is that risk and reward, and it's how a lot of teams play now, and it looks attractive, and it does work to play through the thirds, but unfortunately when it does go wrong, normally, just say, when you're playing in your own box, it normally goes very spectacularly wrong.
Yeah, it can do. But like I say, risk and reward. Nearly 9 gone here at the Riverside. It's Middlesbrough 0, Sunderland 0. Just that one good chance. Fors header, well saved by Patterson. There was talk that Patterson may be on his way and constantly linked with Premier League clubs. The outstanding young goalkeeper for Sunderland. As Borough have it on halfway, they'll look to feed it out wide on the left. Giles has seen plenty of it. Advances over halfway, tries to slide it down the touchline for Fors, and ball is nicked away from him and out for a throw-in over on the far side. It's just calmed down a little bit now, but you'd have to say at the moment Borough have been the better side in the opening 9 minutes. Yeah,
there's no doubt about that, but as you say, equally Sunderland are used to sitting in a little bit, and they like to play on the counter-attack, but obviously you don't want to concede, and it's this moment here when they do win the ball back. The first 10 or so minutes they've not been clinical enough with their passing going forward, but this is better from Sunderland now. Yeah, they have it wide over on the far side. Roberts advances over the halfway line, little drop of the shoulder, tackled by 2. He's gone down clutching his shin. Referee's having none of it, and now the break is on. It's a great through ball, and here now is Bergzorg in on goal, and he slots it in, and Middlesbrough leads. Bergzorg, one through ball, sliced open the Sunderland defence, and Bergzorg calmly slots it past Patterson. It's Middlesbrough 1, Sunderland 0. Well, let's start with the finish. It's absolutely fantastic from Bergzorg. He does ever so well, and he's got a lot of time to think about this, and I think as a forward that's always worse. When you work off instinct and you almost do it for second nature, it makes it a lot easier, whereas when you've got time to think, other things can creep into your mind. But the issue with this, and what Sunderland won't be happy about, we've not got VAR luckily in the Championship, so we've not got to worry about this, but the issue will be with the perceived foul. I think it's Patrick Roberts on the opposite side of the pitch from us, and Sunderland just stopped though, and this is the thing, yes it might be a foul, but the rest of the defence just stopped. They're not alert to the ball forward. looking back on the replays we've got on the screen in front of us, I don't think that's a foul. And then it's the fact that they go forward really well. And I mentioned about Hayden Hackney and his relationship with Aidan Morris, and it allows him to get forward more. And this is what we see from Hackney. It's a pinpoint ball forward, and Bergzorg does ever so well with the finish.
Yeah, I think if you pause that when that tackle is made, that goal should never happen. Here, though, comes Sunderland looking for an instant response. They're in down the left, cross in down the right, cross comes in, it's put behind for a corner. So they're looking to hit straight back, but it was too easy. The defence just parted far too easy. Bergzorg with a goal and Borough lead, but they've got to defend a corner here that's going to be swung in by Sunderland from their right-hand side. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinging corner here. An early test for Mark Travers maybe in the goal. What can Sunderland do, having been hit hard early on here? Corner going to be swung in towards the 6-yard box. It's headed. Oh, there's a foul. It was headed behind by Borough for another corner, but the referee spotted a foul there. Sunderland not happy with it, but it's Middlesbrough on Sunderland now.
Yeah, and you can't say that Borough haven't deserved it, really. I'm just having a quick look at the stats. 72% possession. They've had 3 shots, one of those on target, and when you look at the lack of attacking threat from Sunderland, I don't think you can begrudge Borough their 1-goal lead at the moment.
No, certainly can't. Here is Trey Hugh, just dwelt on the ball but manages to keep possession, finds Bellingham, who finds Dan Neil, who tries to slide it through. Isidore's touch, he's just gone a yard offside. It was not a bad first touch, but he couldn't quite keep it under control, and the flag goes up and he is offside. 1-0 here then. Don't forget, live over on Talksport right now, you can listen to the Premier League game. Chelsea 0, West Ham 0 is the latest score. Over on Talksport, another huge week of sporting action across the Talksport network. And the ball is with Borough on the edge of their own area. Leading by a goal to 0, Delano Bergzorg with a finish. Nice goal as well. And here Vandenberg has it. As Borough just trying to draw Sunderland out of shape. It's been a bright start, and I guess the early goal means that Sunderland are going to have to come out at some point and play, and ball's been given away by Edmondson at the back. Roberts will feed it into Dan Neil, edge of the area. Neil works it back wide on the right. There are 4 white shirts waiting for the cross that goes in the 6-yard box, but there was nobody there, no poacher sniffing around for an opportunity in the 6-yard box.
I should say, though, for Sunderland now, the game plan changes, doesn't it? The idea is to sit in a little bit. It's definitely not a low block, it's more towards a mid block, but what they want is for Middle to possess the ball, get themselves higher up the pitch, so then they can strike on the counter-attack. And we know that Sunderland are so deadly at that, but that's not going to work now, so they're going to have to be a bit more forward thinking on the front foot. Potentially might have to go and press Middlesbrough a little bit higher, because now Middlesbrough are in control.
Yeah, they are. Ball over on the far side. Sunderland have it over halfway. They'll head forward, but out-muscled there by the goal scorer, Bergzorg. And as great as his goal was, he gets a big cheer as well for just working out defensively there. Did a really good job for Borough to get the ball back. Ball out on the near side. Here's Ayling again. Whittaker, a willing runner. Ball just over-hit by Ayling. And a couple of bounces through to Anthony Patterson. Don't forget, you can keep up with all the transfers. Jim White and our very own Alex Crook will be over on Talksport straight after Chelsea against West Ham. Here tonight on Talksport 2, it's the Sports Bar. You can get your calls into the guys after the game here, as Sunderland with Bellingham. Was he caught there by Vandenberg? Well, that's a bit of a wrestling match going on. Play on. Rick gets it out wide to Roberts. Roberts cuts in on his left foot. Shoots deflected and wide in the end. And the referee playing advantage. Bellingham is not happy. He's looking across to the dugout here, but he's up on his feet and he's going forward as Middlesbrough have a corner, trying by a goal to 0.
I understand why, though, because yes, the Vandenberg gets the ball, but it's high in his follow through, and I think he catches Joe Bellingham right in the mid shin, and it's the follow through. It's not a nice one. That's not.
In fairness, his boot bounced off the floor, didn't it? He wasn't high initially, but I'm with you, he did catch him. Referee, they'll let play go on. Sunderland have got 4 past the far post here. Corner's going to be whipped in again. They come towards the ball. Down headed, and Travers beats it away. Point blank save, but the clearance is a poor one from Azaz. And once again, Travers is bailed out by the referees. He went to collect it. He was bundled into, and it is going to be a free kick. Travers felt that, but he'll be happy that header was straight at him. It was a good save nevertheless from the new man.
Yeah, it was, because it's coming through bodies as well, so it's difficult to see, but good corner in. It's got bags of pace on it. I think it's potentially Mepham that gets the initial touch, and then it's Mepham as well that draws the foul. And it's really silly, actually, because it's a difficult one for Travers there. Sort of the way that it comes up in the air, it's starting to go down the byline. It's a real poor clearance, actually, from Azaz, and there was no need to make the foul.
No, he made it easy, didn't he, in the end for Travers, who's back up on his feet and the ball's down the other end of the field. 1-0. Middlesbrough lead here. Delano Bergzorg with a goal. Lovely finish after he was played through by Hayden Hackney from inside his own half. It was a great pass and a great finish as well. 1-0 to the Borough here. Not the best pass to Edmondson, who does well to get it to Giles, who then showed a little bit too much of it to Hume. And Dan Neil steps in. Neil has it over on the right, looks to feed it back to Roberts. Roberts out-muscled or rather bundled over there by Aidan Morris, who's just a little bit overly keen in the tackle. I think he'd won the ball anyway, but took a little bit of the player as well.
Sunderland are definitely a little bit higher now, instead of sort of waiting for Middlesbrough to lose the ball and strike on the counter-attack. They're taking it now into their own hands and trying to press Middlesbrough higher up the pitch.
Ball on halfway. Here now is Mepham. Gets it away over on the far side. 17 gone here at the Riverside. 1-0. Nice driving run from Mepham. Gets it to Bellingham. Feeds it back to Sirkin. He moves it wide now to Lefay. He has it. 2 in front of him. Cuts in. Leaves it now for Sirkin. Puts in a ball. Deep ball. Too deep. But it'll be collected by Trey Hume. He has it 25 yards out. Looks for the give and go. Ball laid back to Dan Neil. Is he going to pull the trigger? No. He looks to get the pass and will get it back here. Can he find a white shirt? He just couldn't quite keep it in. I think the official on the far side has said it went behind for a goal kick, but it was neat football from Sunderland. The pass to Neil was just fractionally overhit and he couldn't keep it in.
It was, and Sunderland aren't very happy because they feel that the ball hadn't gone out. I mean, it did look to from here, but I think Edmondson, they thought, got the final touch. But as the assistant had rightly said, the ball had already gone out of play.
Yeah, goal kick. 18 and a half gone live on Talksport 2. Mark Wilson, Courtney Sweetman Kirk here with you live at the Riverside. As the ball's given away by Borough. Here's Bellingham now, 25 yards out, tried to find Isidore on the turn. Azazzo comes away with it for Middlesbrough and finds Whittaker. Whittaker looks up, looks for the crossfield switch to Falls. It's a good ball as well. Falls is after it. He's got Azaz with him if he can see him. Can't quite turn in time. Little back heel will find Azaz though over on that left touchline. He feeds it inside, and here now come Middlesbrough looking for a second. Crosses block. Lovely turn rig on the edge of his own area, and he drills it forward looking for Isidore and can only find touch. Nice football from Middlesbrough, who lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, they're looking really positive, and obviously you go a goal up early, the fans are on your side, you're at home in such a big game, and mentioned the atmosphere before pre-match. That's carried on now throughout the game, and you can see that they're brimming with confidence, and the additions. I'm liking the relationship between Aylin and Whittaker actually, and it's interesting because normally it's Doku, who's a right-footed player, so would rather drive and go on the outside. He does cut in, don't get me wrong, whereas Morgan Whittaker's first thought is always to go inside quite early, giving Aylin a lot of space on that right-hand side, so it's just changing the dynamic a little bit. Yeah,
ball headed forward by Sunderland, who have it in midfield. Bellingham's header finds Rigg. Rigg gets away. Well, Rigg was pulled down. That's got to be a yellow card, hasn't it? And I think it is going to be a yellow card here for Aidan Morris, who I don't think can have too many complaints about that. He's pulled down Chris Rigg, who was getting away from him.
No, he can't. But it's, early on in the game, only 20 minutes gone, and now I mentioned Aidan Morris, and I like him because of his energy and his tenacity and the way he gets about the midfield, but that's going to handicap him a little bit now in terms of what he can do, and he's got to be really careful going forward.
Yeah, he does. It's one of those, it's a soft one, but it's a cynical one. And the referee has no hesitation. Stephen Martin, the official in the middle tonight. Dan Neil has it. We'll give it short. We'll get it back. He's halfway inside the Borough half. Puts in a deep cross. Far too deep. Looked a little bit off the cuff, that, from Sunderland. And it played out as though it was a bit off the cuff as well.
Yeah, especially when you're behind and you've got an opportunity to get the ball in the box and create some chaos. And it's completely wasted the opportunity that they had.
Ball inside the Borough half, leading by a goal to nil. Nice ball there. Now they're driving forward here with Hackney. It opens up. It's 3-on-2. He's got support to his left. He gives it to Force. First time shot. He's put it over. Huge opportunity for Middlesbrough on the break. Hackney again running forward, and they just parted in front of him. He finds Force, but he never looked convincing over the top of it, and he balloons his shot over the bar.
Well, you're looking at these opportunities thinking, are you going to rue these misses, Middlesbrough? Brilliant play initially. Morgan Whittaker steps in, doesn't he? It's a lovely little pirouette and turn, who finds Hackney, and as I say, drives forward. And you rightly say, Mark, everything parts. I don't know what the Sunderland defence are doing, and then just at the right time, as he engages one of the defenders, he releases it to his left-hand side to Force, who's got to do a lot better. I must admit, approaching the ball for me, Force never really looked confident with it.
No, he didn't. Bellingham's been bundled over again. The referee says play on, and here now is Hackney again. He looked to try and thread it through. I think Luke Ayling maybe 10 years ago might have had a chance of getting on the end of that one. Not now. That was too deep, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think Ayling was expecting the one sort of in front of his feet, in front of the defender. I think it's circling down that side, whereas the ball was played in between the centre half and the full-back, and as you say, Ayling was never going to get to that one.
No, he wasn't. Ball again out of play over on the far side. Sunderland yet to hit their straps. It is only 1-0. Here they've got an awful record, not won in the league for nearly 20 years now on this ground. Middlesbrough not a happy hunting ground for Sunderland over the years, as Whittaker tries to go round his man, and this time the referee is saying it's a free kick, and he's judged that Sirkin's made the foul. Ayling took it quickly, but referee deemed the ball was moving.
Not having that. Ayling, he puts his hand on the ball, he completely stops it. Not sure what the referee's seen there.
Well, Ayling will have the chance then from a free kick, and he says to the defenders, you get yourself in the box, boys. And they're going to swing it in from this right-hand side. Finazaz comes over to this near side. Michael Carrick, hands in his pockets, looks quite calm and relaxed his side. 1-0 to the good, and maybe could and should have been 2-0 up that forced chance. A really good opportunity. Edmondson up from the back then with Vandenberg. What can Azaz do as he whips the ball in right-footed? It's a good ball into the 6-yard box. It evades everybody. Bergzorg will keep it in just outside the penalty area. Looking now to either draw a foul or find a teammate. He finds a red shirt, and there's still 4 Reds wording in the middle. Another ball comes in, and it's volleyed just wide at the near post. I think it was Vandenberg up from the back who maybe got a touch on it, and it's behind for a goal kick. Still 1-0 to Middlesbrough.
And more opportunities. I think the first ball was actually brilliant. It was just the positioning of the players in the box that didn't quite get it quite right. It was weighted too close to the near post, but why it's only 1-0, you give Sunderland a chance so desperately. Middlesbrough want to get that cushion, but again, Sunderland and Patterson taking chances, playing out from the back. Yeah, it was Forss who side-footed the volley wide. It'd be disappointing not to hit the target. He's had a couple of chances already, had a header well saved in the opening few minutes. Ball on halfway with Sunderland. 1-0 Middlesbrough lead. You're live on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Plenty of EFL, Carabao Cup and FA Cup action to come this week. It is a feast of football as ever. If you've not got that Talksport app, you really do need to get it. Ball over the top, and it could be a chance here, but Riggs' little legs wouldn't quite get him where he needed to be, and in the end Travers comes out and collects comfortably enough. Yeah, it's one of those for Riggs though. He times his run to perfection, so he can't go any earlier. He just needs a little less weight on the pass. He can't. If he gets there before it bounces, it gives him a chance, but as soon as it skips up the turf, it's difficult. Well, here he is on the ball now, Rigg, after Azaz turned over possession, but Rigg had nowhere to go. He's just in the end in a little pirouette, waiting for support to arrive. Crossfield ball's cut out by Whittaker. Sirkin will win it back, and now it's back with O'Nien on this near side. He'll work it out to Lefay, who has it midway inside the Borough half, left-hand side. Goes back to O'Nien, who's just over halfway. He'll feed it to Meffam. Meffam comes forward now. He'll invite Trey Hume into the action. Wide on the right. Finds Dan Neal 25 yards out. Thinks about passing, then looks to get the ball away. Lefay hits it first time, and it's low, and Travers in the end gets everything behind it. Not quite the power on it from Enzo Lefay, but it was certainly worth the effort. And it's an effort on target for Sunderland, who trail by a goal to nil. Yeah, it was a nice little chip as well into him by Dan Neal, and in terms of doesn't catch it overly flush, but I think Lefay does the right thing because he knows Ayling's coming across. He's not got the time to try and take a touch and shift it onto his left foot. So he elects to take it first time, but it's a difficult one. It bounces just in front of him.
Can I just ask you the question? We've seen now Sunderland have had it a few times, 25, 30 yards out, plenty of defenders in front. Does one of them maybe just need to have a shot just to try and get people to back off a little?
100%. And as you say, it's not necessarily a shot that you think, right, this is going to go in the back of the net, because you're right, there's numbers in front, but sometimes you do things, you make runs, you take shots to try and force the opposition back and give them something different to think about. But now it's all the attacks are very similar from Sunderland, so they sort of know what they're getting.
Yeah, now then, sorry to jump in there. Bellingham was brought down. I thought for a moment it was Morris, but it was Hayden Hackney who just caught him. It was a lovely turn from Bellingham. Another one who's been linked with a move away, but I think we can safely say that he won't be appearing on Alex and Jim show on Talksport tonight at 10 o'clock. He'll be here for the remainder of the season for Sunderland, who are looking to return back to the Premier League. They trail though here by 1-0, but they are starting to grow into the tile. That's a good challenge from Ayling. Upends Dan Neil. Ball works its way forward towards halfway. And Sunderland outnumber Finn Azaz and knock it out for a throw-in down below us. Right between the two managers, who are both hands in pockets, stood edge of their technical area looking on. Ball thrown into the action here for Azaz. He can't control it. Bellingham brings it down. Looks to get the pass away to Neil, who actually did really well there. Rigg tries to work it out wide on the near side, but it's too deep for Lafay and it's out for a throw-in. They've certainly got the players in midfield, Sunderland. They just need a little bit more time and a little bit more finesse, if you like, on the ball with their passing. Yeah,
they do, but what Borough have done really well, and just thought of it there where Ayling makes that challenges. In terms of the 50-50, I think Borough are winning them. They seem first to the ball, just on the front foot, a bit more aggressive, a bit more determined. And that's then bleeds into the fact that when Sunderland do win it back, as soon as the ball's at their foot, they've got a red shirt in their face. So yes, they've got to be better on the ball, but it's all credit to Middlesbrough and the way that they're pressing.
Quickly taken, throwing from Middlesbrough. Get it here now to Whittaker. 30 yards out. That's a nice pass across the field of play. Bergzorg has it, edge of the area, 25 yards out. Will work it wide left to Giles. He'll just roll it back here to the midfielder Morris. He finds Hackney. Hackney now slides the ball into the feet of Finn Azaz. Back to goal, 20 yards out. Lays it back edge of the box. Now they'll move it wide on the right. Here now is Ayling. Puts in the cross towards the penalty spot. Headed away by O'Nien at the near post. And it's picked up by Middlesbrough. Just starting to have a little bit of a spell here. 28 gone. Leading by 0-0. Bergzorg's goal on 10 minutes has the Borough in front of the Riverside. Here's Ayling now. Again wide on the right. Puts his cross in. Bergzorg collects it. Hits it on the half volley and pulled it just wide. Good intent from Bergzorg, but he couldn't find the target.
The back four of Sunderland are so narrow, and it's giving Ayling so much space. And what they're doing now is they're trying to bring Lafay back to try and cope with that. But then, in terms of that attacking threat, it doesn't help Sunderland in any way for me. I think you can pull one of the midfielders across and almost halve the pitch, because whoever it is from a Middlesbrough persuasion over the other side of the pitch, they're not really the danger in the middle of the goal. So yeah, Sunderland are really struggling to deal with the width that Middlesbrough are putting, especially down the right-hand side.
Ayling does well under pressure. Here now is Whittaker on his Borough debut, cutting forward, finds a teammate looking for the return pass from Azaz. Azaz turns into trouble, but will earn his side a throw-in. Been a decent first half an hour or so here live on Talksport 2, but it's Middlesbrough who lead, and remember, a point for them would lift them into the top 6 tonight. What an end to the season it promises to be. Nearly 2/3 of the way through the Championship season. There's so much to happen, and we'll cover it all for you on the Talksport network. Ball here with Hackney, who balloons a pass that Giles collects on his instep and then heads in field. Derides one challenge, goes in against Neil but can't come up with a ball, but the pass forward is given away. Too many times Sunderland have turned over possession, and now here come the red shirts of Middlesbrough again. Ayling slides it into the edge of the area. It's laid back and a shot from distance from Hackney. Well, that was optimistic at best, and it's probably about 10 metres high and 10 metres wide. It's behind for a goal kick, 1-0 Borough lead.
Yeah, but again from Borough, really good build-up play, but you mentioned comes from the transition. They're looking for Chris Rigg to go forward. Sunderland, they make a hash of the pass forward. Rigg's also not really expecting it. And then I think that ball into Bergzorg is something that's really working. When Aylin's got the ball on the right-hand side, Whittaker moves, opens up the channel, and Sunderland can't deal with it.
Well, they've given it away again. Here's Bergzorg, edge of the area for Middlesbrough, feeds it out wide to Giles, tried to pull it back. There were 4 red shirts waiting in the middle, and now the counter could be on here. Roberts sprinting away. Isidore peels off to the right. Isidore against Vandenberg, edge of the area. Right-hand side as Sunderland look to counter. Little flick back to Roberts. Roberts tries to go past Bergzorg, who once again is back defending and helps out the Borough defence, and it's out for a throw-in. But that was the first real opportunity Wilson Isidore's had to get involved, and he couldn't get the beating of Vandenberg. Throw-in for Sunderland, taken quickly. They'll look to switch play here. O'Nien advances forward, 30 yards out from goal, feeds it to Dennis Sirkin, left-hand side of the penalty area, right in line with the edge of the 18-yard box. Goes back to O'Nien. He gets it away here to Meffam. Meffam will get it wide to Trey Hume. Hume's going to whip across in towards the far post. Bellingham got up, couldn't get a header on it. Sirkin will keep this in. Sunderland have got 3 waiting in the middle. Lefay will drive it to the penalty spot area where Rigg hit it first time. It was blocked and cleared away on as far as Dan Neal, who launches a shot and it's gone in. Dan Neal equalises here. A shot that catches Travers unawares and finds the back of the Borough net. It's Middlesbrough 1, Sunderland 1.
Well, I think that takes a massive deflection on the way through from Edmondson. But that is the best passage of play I've seen from Sunderland so far. Initially, I think Joe Bellingham does really well. He gets in between Vandenberg and Edmondson. It doesn't quite come off for him. Then the cutback, Lefay into Rigg. Rigg's in a fantastic position near and on the penalty spot. That gets blocked. And then when Dan Neal unleashes this shot, it's Edmondson. I think he tries to get in front of it and sort of leans his chest into it, gets a little bit on it. And unfortunately, it completely wrong foots Travers. He can't get anywhere near it. And probably their best passage of play, Sunderland. And as you say, sometimes you've got to take that shot from the edge of the box. It might not be the prettiest, it might take a deflection, but when it goes in the back of the net, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does take a big deflection, but as our Talksport colleague Neil Redfern always says, if you don't shoot, you won't score. And he shot and he scored. He got a bit of luck on the way there, Dan Neal, who was sent off in a fixture against Middlesbrough a couple of seasons ago. Well, it's Edmondson who got the final touch, and it's all level at 1-1. And for as well as Middlesbrough have played, they may well regret those missed opportunities.
Exactly. You know, you go 2-0 up early, and there's a bit of cushion, a bit of comfort in that. But I always felt that they were going to rue those misses. And as you say, great advice from Redders, told me that many a time.
Oh, yes, your old manager, of course.
He is, yeah, and the amount of times he used to tell me that, and yeah, it certainly worked for me.
Yeah, well, 0-0 over on Talksport between Chelsea and West Ham. 34 gone there. Sam Matterface, Danny Murphy and Adrian Durham, our team at Stamford Bridge tonight. Transfer show. Jim White and Alex Crook will be bringing you all the closing deals of deadline day. And here on Talksport 2, the guys on the sports bar will be taking your calls going into the early hours of tomorrow morning. Bellingham was trying to get on the end of a pass. Here's O'Nien. All of a sudden Sunderland have got their tails up. Lefay, beautiful dummy. Sirkin did well to keep it in. He whips in across towards the far post. Roberts is going to hit it on the volley. It was really awkward. Did well actually to get anything on it. And in the end he shot his straight one bounce into the arms and the chest of Mark Travers in goal. It's 1-1 here and it's finally poised.
Yeah, and isn't it funny what a goal can do in terms of the confidence? And now the press, Sunderland are right on the edge of the Middlesbrough box with the front press. Rigg going in on, I think it was Edmondson there, and the little, as you say, with Lefay and the build up, the little dummy, bit of confidence, decent ball in the box as well, but it was so awkward for Patrick Roberts there. I'm surprised he even got a foot on it.
Yeah, he did well as Middlesbrough give away a free kick on halfway, right over on the right touchline as Sunderland have the ball. Burnley Oxford tomorrow, live and exclusive on Talksport 2. Oxford have had a bit of a revival in recent weeks. Burnley just needs some goals. Sirkin lays it back to O'Nien, feeds it to Lafay. First time ball round the corner for Bellingham, who tried to flick it and pirouette all in one motion. He did well, and Lafay makes the challenge. It's out for a Middlesbrough throw in. Midway inside their own half, Regis Labrie just saying to his side, keep going, keep working hard. Maybe he did get a little bit of fortune with a shot that took a deflection past Travers. But they've earned it, they've worked their way back into the game here. Ayling's throw in will find Edmondson, who goes forward to Force, who has a bit of a wrestling match with Metham. The ball eventually beats them both. O'Nien will tidy it up. That's not really the type of ball that Force wants up in the air. As a nice touch there from Lafay, does well to keep it in, finds Bellingham. Bellingham advancing forward, is surrounded by red shirts, holds them all off, finds a nice pass to Dan Neil. He feeds it forward to Hume. Hume now looks into the area for Rigg, who's gone down. It was a soft one. Sunderland are appealing for a penalty, but I think Rigg might have been looking for that contact, and it's more a coming together, isn't it, than a foul?
Yeah, I totally agree. He's completely looking for that. It's a coming together with Giles, who he stands firm. He doesn't dive in. It's just the upper bodies coming together. Never a penalty.
And Chris Rigg scored the winner when these two met earlier in the season. Still only 17 years of age. What a bright young talent he is for Sunderland. There's the ball given away again by Middlesbrough, and Hume gets it forward to Roberts. Roberts goes past one, rides a challenge into the area onto his right foot, lays it to Hume, puts the cross into the far post just above Isidore, and all the way out for a throw in. But Sunderland is starting to click into gear. They're starting to find one or two passes now. Yeah,
and you can see Travers as well. He's fuming with his team giving away the ball so cheaply as they did, and it's funny how momentum can change so quickly, how it can flip on its head, and Sunderland now are well in the ascendancy.
Yeah, they certainly are. It is 1-1 though here on Talksport 2. 7.5 to go to the break as an all-in wrestling match broke out there between Metham and Bergzorg, and then Bergzorg thunders into O'Nien, dumps him on the ground, and will concede the throw in. I'd like to pick a winner. I know there's a long way to go yet, but both sides will feel more than capable of taking this game. But I think there'll be some more goals in this. It's been open. There have been chances at both ends as Force tries to get on the end of Finazaz, knocked down, and he does. Finds Giles. Not sure where Patrick Roberts had been there. He seemed to come from 20 yards behind the play, but can't get to his man. Here now is Bergzorg, edge of the area, tries to feed it for Azaz, who rather stood on heels, and now the counter-attack could be on for Sunderland over on the far side. Hackney across will win the throw-in, did really well there, the Borough midfielder, and Borough have it back, and a roar goes round the riverside as they try and cheer on their team, who've just been on the back foot a little bit in the last 10 minutes as Sunderland force that equaliser. 1-1 here. Whittaker can't control it. Lafay, his touch magnificent again, looks infield to find Isidore, who does really well to find Bellingham. Bellingham looks up though, because Isidore giving him the ball, there was no out ball over the top, just had to wait, and Sunderland are patient. But Lafay starting to show those touches. There was a lot of excitement when Sunderland managed to announce his signing, and you can see why.
Yeah, exactly. I was really looking forward to watching him in the flesh. I've seen him a few times previously, but only through a screen, and I like to reserve judgment until I've seen a player in the flesh. But he's every bit as good as I thought he would be, and just I know Sunderland, they're trying to figure out what's best for him, but I want to see him a bit more centrally. I think that's where he's best. That's where he's played previously, and with the amount of skill he's got, I sometimes think a little bit he's wasted out on this left-hand side.
I was going to say, the ability to buy himself a yard of space, if he can do that in front of goal, 20-25 yards out, it could be worth its weight in gold. Here's Dan Neil. He turns down the left, comes forward, lays it to Dennis Sirkin. Sirkin, 25 out, gives it back to Lafay. Here now is Bellingham. Bellingham now invites Metham forward. Is he going to have a shot? He is. And well, there was the shot of a central defender 30 yards out and about 10 yards wide in the end. Middlesbrough 1, Sunderland 1, live on Talksport 2. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk alongside us tonight.
Yeah, he had more opportunity there, Metham, than I think he gave himself credit for. I think he can keep driving. It does open up for him, but it's nearly 30 yards out. can keep going, keep driving, take the shot from, closer to goal, or even then try and slip in a teammate. But maybe the occasion just gets a little bit ahead of himself.
Yeah, 5 to go to the break. It remains 1-1 here. And Middlesbrough, after that great start, Bergzorg put them in front inside 10 minutes before Dan Neil equalised with that deflected shot about 8 minutes or so ago. It is 1-1 here. All played forward by Middlesbrough. Looks to turn Sunderland around. Back to Patterson, who's going to have to be quick with his feet. Gets it away to Luke O'Nien. And he has it on the near side, 20 yards out from his own goal. Goes back to Patterson. He decides enough of that. Plays it out wide on the far side. And once again, he finds touch. Well, the Six Nations started at the weekend. I think Andy Patterson would do well at fullback, wouldn't he? Punting the ball towards a touchline like that.
To be fair, I think twice he got stitched up. The first ball back to him wasn't great, and then the ball from 09 there was mid-goal. And you always taught, even from a young age, when you're passing back to the goalkeeper, don't go mid-goal. So had to take evasive action, Patterson.
Yeah, no time for messing about there. Middlesbrough have it. Centre field, they have it in the Sunderland half. Ball works its way now to the right with Ayling. Ayling cuts in, 10 off the touchline, feeds it into the feet then of Morris, who gives the ball forward, and in the end Whittaker earns a free kick there. He wasn't really going anywhere. And a free kick, 35 yards out here for Middlesbrough. Got a chance to put some big guns in the box.
Whittaker did well there, as you mentioned, actually facing away from goal. Didn't look like there was too much on, and just a little bit of a naive challenge.
Yeah, it was. And Middlesbrough have not really had too many opportunities in the last 10-15 minutes. Now find themselves with an opportunity here. Sunderland are trying to defend the edge of the 18-yard box. Azaz stands over it. He's just to the right of the goal. He's certainly looking just to float this one up, you feel. And he will float it to the far post. It's deep. There's a Middlesbrough player goes down, and there were a brief appeal there. Edmondson looked at the referee, who was having none of it, and the ball skips away for a goal kick. Bit of a waste that from Finn Azaz.
Yeah, he is, and I know he's upset Edmondson, but I think it's just more of a coming together. Although say that, we have the benefit of the little screens in front of us, and Sirkin did have a hand of his shirt. He's lucky the referee didn't see that.
Yeah, well, referee was looking on. There has been a goal over on Talksport, by the way. Chelsea 0, West Ham 1. Jared Bowen back in the starting lineup and back in the goals for West Ham. Graham Potter going back to Stamford Bridge. His side are in front. You can listen to that live and exclusive over on Talksport right now. Here the ball with Dennis Sirkin, feeds it forward. Lafay tried to get it back to Sirkin, just didn't quite get enough of it, and it's hacked away. Should be headed away by Meffam, it is, but brought down on halfway here by Azaz, who gets past one but can't get past Hume, who just thumps it high. And Edmondson's header is collected nicely in midfield by Middlesbrough. Now looking to change play here with Hackney, just couldn't get the pass away out on this right hand side, so they go back to the left. Giles has it just over halfway. It is 1-1. We've got about 90 seconds left. There can't be too much time to be added on at the end of the first half. It's been non-stop, hasn't it, so far? Borough looking to end the half on a high. Can they get themselves back in front? Ball across towards the edge of the box. O'Nien heads it away. Dan Neil's trying to bring it down. It's anywhere will do. Eventually it finds Bellingham. Isidore peels away from him. Finds Lafay on the right. And again, probably not the focal point, but a beautiful touch from Lafay. He gets it to Sirkin. Sirkin now coming forward. There are 5 waiting in the middle, and the cross evades all of them, and it's cleared away. Well, we've been speaking about the skill of Enzo Lafay there. That was such a deft bit of skill.
Yes, the little Cruyff flick starts it, almost shows the ball in front, flicks it behind him. He's a wonderful footballer to watch.
Well, Luke O'Nien's going to find himself on a yellow card here because he's just stopped Delano Bergzorg, who was looking to try and counter there, and O'Nien goes in the book. And we mentioned earlier on, this is a fixture that's seen 4 red cards in the last 6 meetings.
I mean, it's not been played in bad blood, this, but you wouldn't be surprised if there's another red, just because there's a lot of fouls. In terms of the energy of the game as well, it's a lot of player-to-player contact, the aggressiveness to obviously try and win the ball, and a few players now want a yellow card and a walk and a tightrope in the second half.
Yeah, mentioned a busy week of FA Cup action. We've got, well, over 10 that I can see on the list. Live commentaries across the Talksport network on Friday, Saturday and Sunday from the FA Cup. It is a huge week of sport. Ball given away. That was risky from Fletcher. And now Roberts is going forward. He's got Isidore. Did he go a yard too soon? I think he did. He did. Didn't need to. But then again, Roberts had plenty of time to play that. There was a lot of grass to aim it into, and he just sold Wilson Isidore short there. Yeah,
I think it's one of those. You see Isidore, he's trying to check back, and he looks back at his teammate as if to say that can go earlier, and it's, you know, the midfielder will argue one way and the forward will obviously argue the other, but I think that can go earlier, and actually very, very close.
1-1 here. And we are into one added on minute. We've nearly had that. In fact, that will do, says the referee. It's been a really entertaining opening 45 minutes, and it's an ovation from all four sides of the ground here. Middlesbrough got off to a great start. Force had a header well saved by Patterson inside 5 minutes, but Middlesbrough must open the defence and the deadlock. Lovely through ball from Hayden Hackney, found Delano Bergzorg, raced in on goal and calmly slotted past Patterson to put the Borough in front. Force should have made it 2-0 shortly after. Blazed over when well set, about 12 yards out. Bergzorg had a shot that fired just wide of the far post. At the other end, Methven had the only Sunderland chance. That was a header from a set piece, but then equaliser. Dan Neal's speculative shot from the edge of the area took a wicked deflection off Edmondson and beat Travers in off into the side netting, and it was 1-1 from there. Both sides trying their best to add to their tally. I think at half-time maybe 1-1 is a fair reflection of the first half, Corny.
Yeah, I do. I think there were quite a few momentum shifts within the game. I think you could argue that Middlesbrough had the better quantity and quality of chances, but the difference is that they didn't put them away. And yeah, you know, if they go 2-0 up, they could even have gone 3-0 up. It's a different game, but they didn't, and that's the expectation. When you don't do that, you know, Sunderland will come roaring back, and they did just that. Yes, it wasn't the prettiest goal, but they took the opportunity, and the deflected goal went in the back of the net, and that's all that matters. And after that, actually, I think Sunderland looked like the team with the impetus that we're going to go and get that second goal to get the noses in front. But I think half-time has come at a very good time for Middlesbrough, so they can go in, try and recoup, and then look about how they approach this second half.
Who do you think will be happy? Do you think on that basis, what you just said, Regis Labrise will be quite happy with how his side have managed that since they went behind? Yeah,
without a doubt. I think obviously they were maybe a little bit taken back. I'm not sure what the expectation was, but I think Middlesbrough rather, started so well. They were so aggressive. It was very frantic, and they made Sunderland look very frantic on the ball. Actually, every time Sunderland seemed to win the ball back, they'd give it away within a matter of seconds, and that was credit to Middlesbrough. But they hung in there, they got the goal back, and as you say, because of that reason, I think that Sunderland will go in the better, and in terms of Regis Labrise will feel the better out the two managers, because I think he knows it could have been a lot worse. And like I say, on the other side of that, conversely, I think Michael Carrick might be thinking a few times of what if it would have got that second goal, it could have been a different story.
Yeah, well, ifs, buts and maybes at the break. It is all level here. Over on Talksport, into the final knockings of first half injury time. Chelsea 0, West Ham United 1. Jarrod Bowen with the goal for the Hammers. We'll be looking ahead to another huge weekend of football here on Talksport 2 next. At the break here at the Riverside, it's Middlesbrough 1, Sunderland 1.
This is the call of the chiff-chaff. This is the call of the willow warbler. Hear the difference? Thankfully, some things are obvious, like choosing Interactive Investor for your ISA and personal pension. With 30 years' experience, over 430,000 customers, and a rating of excellent on Trustpilot, the choice is obvious. Search Interactive Investor. Investment values can go down as well as up. You could get back less than you invest.
If you're in the trade, you need workwear that works as hard as you do. Portwest Protective Workwear is designed to provide total protection and maximum comfort for trade and industry specialists. With award-winning product innovations, Portwest only uses world-class stretch or protective fabrics, trims and technologies, meaning our products are built to last. Portwest's design team also ensures that the products look as good as they perform. Portwest. Workwear that works overtime. Find out more at portwest.com.
Tired of unreliable broadband? Switch to EE today and get up to £300 towards your leaving fee.
£300?
Really? Yes, really. You'll get our fastest full fibre ever.
So I can work at home?
While the kids nail dance practice.
And I can help them revise online?
That's right. We'll even handle the switch for you.
That's epic.
No wonder broadband switchers choose EE.
Get up to £300 towards any early termination charges from your current provider credited to your EE account. New customers, 50% UK availability. Terms apply.
Jill Scott here with the winning pass from Cadbury. You could be in with a chance to win the ultimate match day experience. A choice of Arsenal, Chelsea FC, Leeds United, Manchester United or Tottenham Hotspur match tickets. Plus a luxury hotel stay and a chance to meet a legend. The full works. Best of all, you get to share it with 3 of your mates. Who will you share it with? Buy a pack to enter. UK only 18 plus. Visit thewinningpass.cadbury.co.uk to enter and for full T's and C's and price details.
You know that feeling when you've just saved big on your car insurance? Okay, all right. Well, when you add a choice of £20 rewards on top of that, it starts to feel a little bit more. From Just Eat, Sainsbury's and Halfords, plus a free Greggs coffee every month. Insurance is more rewarding when you just use Confused. Just use confused.com. T's and C's apply. See website for details.
At Checkatrade. You'll find reputable tradespeople ready to get to work on your home improvement jobs, big and small. But we know all you're going to remember about this ad is... It's great that it sticks in your mind. Just don't forget about the reputable tradespeople ready to get to work on jobs, big and small bit. You're still thinking about... Aren't you? But we really do have reputable tradespeople ready to... Oh, forget it. Download the app or visit...
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the English Football League.
It's a wicked Wednesday night of live League Cup football on Talksport. Newcastle face Abraca Arsenal. It's a steaming cauldron of pre-match punditry from 7 with spellbinding live comms at 8. It's a wondrous Wednesday night of live League Cup football on Talksport.
It's the totally immersive football experience.
Right foot it. Oh, what a goal!
EFL Live on Talksport 2.
Yes, another huge week of footballing action across the TalkSport network. Tomorrow night, Burnley take on Oxford live and exclusive on TalkSport 2. Wednesday night, got a double header of action. Chelsea against West Ham, Women's League Cup semi-final live on TalkSport 2. Newcastle against Arsenal live in the Carabao Cup semi-final. Second leg on TalkSport. Newcastle with that 2-0 advantage. Can they see it through? We'll find out on Wednesday. And on Thursday, Spurs take a 1-goal lead to Liverpool. Can they hold out at Anfield? Carabao Cup semi-final second leg live on TalkSport, 8 o'clock on Thursday. And we'll have Manchester City going to Arsenal in a Women's League Cup semi-final live on TalkSport 2. Busy week of action. Busy night here as well at the Riverside. Entertaining first half. Middlesbrough against Sunderland, and it's 1-1 at the break. Whittaker's played a great ball in. Luke Ayling racing in down the right-hand side on goal. Can he find a teammate? Dwelt too long. Puts it in for the header. Beaten away by Patterson. Borough still have it far side. Shot comes in, blocked towards the edge of the area, and it's cleared away. Patterson with a decisive save to keep it level at 0-0.
Oh, they're doing ever so well here, Borough.
And now the break is on. It's a great through ball. And here now is Bergzorg in on goal, and he slots it in. And Middlesbrough leads. Delano Bergzorg, 1 through ball, sliced open the Sunderland defence, and Bergzorg calmly slots it past Patterson. It's Middlesbrough 1, Sunderland 0.
Well, let's start with the finish. It's absolutely fantastic from Bergzorg. It's a pinpoint ball forward, and Bergzorg does ever so well with the finish.
Ball inside the Borough half, leading by a goal to 0. Nice ball there. Then now they're driving forward here with Hackney. It opens up. It's 3-on-2. He's got support to his left. He gives it to Force. First time shot. He's put it over. Huge opportunity for Middlesbrough on the break. Lefay will drive it to the penalty spot area where Rigg hit it first time. It was blocked and cleared away on as far as Dan Neal, who launches a shot. And he's gone in. Dan Neal equalises here. A shot that catches Travers unawares and finds the back of the Borough net. It's Middlesbrough 1, Sunderland 1.
Well, I think that takes a massive, massive deflection on the way through from Edmondson.
Yes, 1-1 here at the Riverside and live on Talksport 2. Two teams are well and truly in the hunt for promotion out of the Championship. Just above them are Burnley, who play Oxford live on Talksport 2 tomorrow night. The Clarets registered their 10th 0-0 draw of the season away at Portsmouth on Saturday. And despite their lack of firepower, Scott Parker's side is still third in the table and well in the mix for the automatic promotion spots. A little earlier on Talksport 2, former Wickham captain Joe Jacobson spoke to Adrian Clark about Burnley's tactics and if they could lead to promotion come the end of the season.
It's like they're playing for a penalty shootout in the playoff final already. It's look, they're still in a fantastic position where they are in the league. They're only 3 points off Sheffield United with a better goal difference, and I think people see the 0-0s and think that they're boring. And yes, some of the games have been.
The Leeds one.
Game was great. The Leeds game was terrible. For everyone to watch that. So it's what do they need? Do they need to be a little bit more expansive? They've gone from one manager in Vincent Kompany, who was totally expansive, really open and style of football, to Scott Parker, who wanted to probably come in and say, right, let's shore things up, let's make it difficult to beat, or else difficult to beat. And they've probably gone from one extreme to the other, but still think they're right in the mix. You know, you can't lose games when you're drawing them. I just think that, especially at home, they need to convert some of these draws into wins. And you know, they've only won 6 games at home all season. And if you look at Leeds, who are complete opposite end of the scale with them, then I think that's where it could be a problem for Burnley. But when they're still in it and they're not losing games like they do and don't concede goals, then they'll be at right to the end of the season.
Can you 1-0 it all the way to the Premier League? Is it possible to do that? Very rarely scoring 2s and 3s, or sooner or later is it bound to catch up?
Well, it has caught up a little bit, isn't it, with the amount of 0-0s they've had? So they don't get as many 1-0s as they'd probably like. We thought they turned a corner with the first half performance, especially against Plymouth, scoring the 5 goals, and it was like total football. Everything was coming off, but I don't know what it is, whether or not Scott Parker's thinking about Leeds and you know, not to get beat, because in that situation, you know, Leeds could have gone 5 or 6 points ahead of them. So he probably was happy with the 0-0 there. But I think, you know, you go away at Portsmouth, you have to be beating a team where Portsmouth are in the division. I know it's difficult to go to Fratton Park, but for them, Burnley, if they want to get promoted automatically. But like I said a minute ago, you know, if they do get to the playoffs, I just can't see them losing, you know, whether or not it's 2 0-0s and 2 penalty shootouts to get them there. But, you know, they're going to be so difficult to beat and no one's going to want to play against them.
No, I remember Sunderland missed 2 penalties, didn't they, against Burnley. James Trafford is quite handy at saving them. Last one on Burnley, very quickly, they've signed Marcus Edwards from Sporting in Portugal. I mean, that's some signing, isn't it?
I think there's a statement there to say, you know what, maybe we do need a few more goals and a bit of excitement and a bit of someone who can take a game on its own. And first of all, I love the signing video. I don't know if you saw it, the episode from Friends, and it was brilliant. I think they definitely won the signing video of the transfer window with that. I thought it was brilliant. But someone who's done it on the European stage. So for them to be able to sign him is a huge coup, and maybe he's the player that they can, you know, create all their chances. They got Zian Fleming, who I think is a really good striker at this level and can score goals. So if he needs someone like Marcus Edwards providing for him and helping him a little bit, then, you know, that may be the catalyst for them to kick on.
Yeah, that was Joe Jacobson speaking to Adrian Clark earlier on Talksport 2. We have got tomorrow night live and exclusive Burnley against Oxford. Ian Danton, the former England defender, Mickey Grobe, our commentary team there. Mark Wilson and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk live at the Riverside, where Middlesbrough 1, Sunderland 1 is our half-time score. You've done a lot of the Championship. Burnley, do they score enough goals, or will clean sheets get them into the top 2?
I don't think it gets them into the top 2. I appreciate what Scott Parker is doing and the team that he's got, and he feels that that's the best way for them to progress. But no, I don't think they score enough goals. I mean, their defensive record, the lack of goals that they concede is absolutely frightening. But for me, I think you need that little bit more to get the automatic promotion, that bit of flair to push into the top 2, and that's maybe what they're missing. So could be very wrong, but I think for me it is between Leeds and Sheffield United. Obviously, with my bias hat on as a former Blade, I hope that it will be Blades that come in first. But either way, I think Leeds and Sheffield United will be the top two, and everyone else will be fighting it out.
Yeah, I was at Ellen Road, saw them put 7 past Cardiff at the weekend, and I think if they'd have got 10, no one would have had any complaints. They were outstanding, but they've got a tricky trip to Coventry, haven't they, on Wednesday night. We'll see how that one goes on. I mentioned to what we have got, we mentioned that we've got the Women's League Cup semi-finals as well. Manchester City going to Arsenal after Arsenal put 4 past them at the weekend. It's going to be tough for Gareth Taylor's side, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Look, there's a lot of pressure on Gareth Taylor and his side at the moment. Yes, they've had injuries, but a lot of noise around the club, and then I think it's going to be a difficult season. I think for me, they have to get that 3rd spot. They have to get the Champions League, because if not, in terms of going forward for next season, keeping players, bringing new players in, they're really going to struggle. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting. We'll have both of those League Cup semi-finals and both of the Carabao Cup semi-finals, second legs, live on the Talksport network this week. Teams coming out for the second half here at the Riverside. Middlesbrough all in red are already out. I can't see at the moment they've made any changes as Sunderland emerge from the tunnel down below us. It's 1-1 here. Bergzorg's goal put Borough in front before. Dan Neal's deflected effort levelled things up, but it was finally poised at the break. Sunderland was certainly growing into the contest, and it is all level at the break. I'm looking down, I can't see the sign of any subs. We'll confirm the teams as soon as we get back underway here. Middlesbrough going from right to left, as they like to do here at the Riverside. All their fans backed up behind the goal, away to that left-hand side that Anthony Patterson, all in green, will be hoping to keep them out of. Mark Travers couldn't keep out the deflected shot away in the first half. We'll be hoping for a quieter second half. He's away to the right-hand side, all in yellow. We are about to get back underway. It is half-time over on Talksport as well, where Chelsea 0, West Ham 1 is your latest score. Jared Bowen with a goal for the Hammers there. Will it be a happy return to Stamford Bridge for Graham Potter? No Jason Cundy on the sports bar tonight, but Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennell will be taking your calls here on Talksport 2 tonight, over on Talksport from 10. Jim White, Alex Crook and the Posh Shop, Peterborough chairman Darren McAntony will be taking you through the closing stages of the transfer window. Everything covered on the Talksport network as ever. As Middlesbrough hack the ball forward, they've got Travers in goal, a back four of Ayling, Edmondson, Vandenberg and Giles. It's Morris and Hackney holding, with Whittaker, Azaz and Bergzorg behind. Marcus Falls, who starts up top. Travers out of his area, will clear the ball. There must be something of a Bermuda Triangle over on that far side for goalkeepers, because Mark Travers has just done what Patterson did several times in the first half and just lump it out of play.
Yeah, it looks even worse as well, because it's told Aylid it's fine, I've got it. He's ran about 20 yards away from his goal line and then just shanked it out of play.
He has, and here comes Sunderland forward. They've turned over possession. Patterson is their goalkeeper. Back four of Hume, Meffam, O'Nien and Sirkin. Bellingham and Neal, the holding midfielders behind Roberts, Rigg and Lafay. Wilson Isidore leading the line up top. Not really had too many opportunities thus far, Isidore. There's the ball back to Travers, has it on the edge of his 6-yard box, feeds it across here to Edmondson, who looks up, goes long, finds Trey Hume though, and Hume will come forward for Sunderland. He'll switch play out to the far side. Lafay just lays it back to Sirkin. I'm just wondering at some point if Regis Lebris will say to Lafay, just come in and have 10 minutes inside and see if you can open something up, because he's shown tonight already a couple of magical touches.
Yes, I think the longer this goes on, and I think, you know, looking at the bench as well, I mean, there is quality on there, but I think he is one of the biggest bits of quality they have. So the longer the game goes on, if it stays like this, I do think there's an expectation that he might float inside.
Yeah, Ayling almost got caught there. I don't know if he could have headed that back to Travers or not. He headed it into no man's land, and in the end Borough got a fortuitous free kick really, and they have the ball just their side of the halfway line. Here's Ayling now advancing forward, looking for a player to hit up front. He went for Azaz and over-pitched it, and it's all the way through to Patterson, who has it edge of his area. We've had a couple of minutes in the second half here, and it is still 1-1. Plenty of live commentaries from the FA Cup to come at the weekend, including on Saturday. I'll hold on a second, because Patterson was playing out of his own box, but Dan Neal made a lovely turn, gets him away from Hackney. Lefay finds over on the far side Sirkin and goes back to O'Nien. One of two players booked in the first half. The other one was Aidan Morris. As O'Nien comes forward now over on the halfway line. Now he feeds it in field. That's a nice pass, finds Rigg. Rigg middle of the Borough half. Thought he could have gone forward, opted just to hold on to it and goes backwards. And now the ball is with Patrick Roberts. Roberts cuts in off the right touch line. He's got support with him, works it onto his left foot. Is he going to shoot? He's been pushed across goal and gets it away to Dan Neal. He finds O'Nien. It's all a bit narrow at the moment. Sunderland could do with some width here as they work the ball forward. Bellingham is dispossessed, then wins it back, and now wins it in a 50-50 again before Bergzorg puts a good challenge in and earns his side of throwing down below us. Well, I guess when you've got long legs like Joe Bellingham has, it makes life a little bit easier when you get caught in a sticky situation.
Yeah, he's got such good stature and strength though as well, hasn't he? So initially looked like he was going to lose out, but that mixture of the strength, the flexibility and the long limbs, as you say, are always quite helpful in that situation.
Yeah, there's a ball. Oh, that's a cheeky little pass out of the back there from Vandenberg. Edmondson has it back. Borough have it on the edge of their own area, attacking the goal away to our left. It's quite a chilly night. It's not actually as cold as I thought it would be up here at the Riverside. There was a bit of a wind blowing earlier on. It's still there, but the stadium is virtually full here. Good atmosphere, but the Borough fans are a little bit quieter than they were earlier on when they led 1-0, but it's 1-1 now. And here's O'Nien, brings it forward. Ooh, that got a bit tricky there, didn't it? One of those where he almost overran it and he slid in. That could have gone wrong pretty quickly.
Well, I think you see as well the way that he flicked his legs up out the way, almost like a turtle on its back, because as you mentioned, he's already on a yellow card and didn't want to get caught out there.
It's amazing, isn't it, how many times when it's the player who has the ball actually loses control of it and ends up committing the foul that leads to them either getting booked or sent off. Well, O'Nien managed to keep his cool, as did Patterson under pressure. Clears it towards halfway. Ayling need it to a teammate, but it's turned over and they're in here. Isidore's in. It's a repeat of the first half. Isidore one-on-one with the keeper. Oh, he's walked it round him. Magical from Wilson Isidore, and Sunderland have turned it right round. Everyone from Borough thought he was offside. The flag didn't go up. He held his nerve. Travers went to ground and Isidore walks it into the back of the net. It's Middlesbrough 1, Sunderland 2.
Well, the big thing here is Edmondson. He steps up, and I don't think Vandenberg does. Why he steps up at that moment, I'm not quite sure. And he breaks the line, leaves Isidore in acres of space, and there's so much to do. But my word, does he do it well. The composure, the nonchalance to sit Travers down the way that he does is absolutely brilliant, and we get the benefit of the replays in front of us on the press box, and Isidore is certainly onside. That's on Edmondson for me. That's his fault. He steps up when he shouldn't have, but there's still a lot to do. But Isidore does it fantastically well.
Well, he's got so much time to think about it, and almost by not doing anything, he made Travers double second guess him, and in the end he almost dived out of the way. He just walked it straight into an empty net. It's 2-1. That's 5 in 8 now for Wilson Isidore, who is flying at the moment for Sunderland. He pointed to the badge on his shirt as he ran over to the Sunderland faithful who've made the short trip. Well, it was deja vu. It was one forward pass from inside their own half, and in the first half it was Bergzorg, in the second half it was Isidore. Same outcome, a goal for both sides, but Sunderland crucially here lead by 2-1.
Yeah, and to be honest, at the back end of the first half, I thought this would be the case. I mean, things can change, and we know that little rest at half time, the tactical input can change it, but the way that the first half ended, I think you expected Sunderland's to be the ones to come out with that impetus and to go forward and get themselves ahead, and it is definitely played out the way that I think we both expected at half time, Mark.
Middlesbrough have it. Look, we send a forward's hat on. How good is that from Isidore? We mentioned in the first half, he's barely had a kick, not through his own fault. He's just not had any decent ball, but boy, did he do well with that.
Yeah, exactly. Like you say, for a couple of reasons, because he's got so much time to think about it. And initially, Patterson doesn't move, which I think always makes your life harder as a forward. And as you say, because he's barely been on the ball either. So those two things in together. It was just such an accomplished finish.
It was, as Ryan Giles just overruns the ball down below us as Middlesbrough look to launch an attack. Now the Borough have it all to do. A point would get them in the top 6 tonight. One win in the last 4 in the league. They've not been in great form of late. Very inconsistent. They've been looking very good in patches here, but just felt before half-time Sunderland were growing into it, and they have got that quality. It was Lefay's through ball that found Isidore, and everyone waiting for the flag that never came. And Isidore, cool as you like, finishes it off. And now Sunderland have got the lead here on Derby Day, up in the northeast. No love lost between these two, that is for sure. Good header, Isidore finds Rigg, whose touch finds Bellingham, and Bellingham now has got Lefay with him, gives it to Lefay. Lefay back to Bellingham. Bellingham finds Sirkin, puts the cross in, Isidore misses. Oh, and it's saved on the line. Rigg 12 yards out, Travers on the ground, and he's kicked it straight at him. That should have been 3-1.
It really should have. I'll give Isidore the benefit of the doubt. It was ever so slightly behind him, but still, I think he's not expecting it. He doesn't sort his feet out quick enough. And then Rigg, I think he's got more time than he thinks here. He's trying to do it on one, which I understand, but he can take a touch there, and he doesn't. And as soon as he misses it...
Well, they could be in again. Oh, they could be in again. Bellingham had done all the hard work and then couldn't find Isidore. Then a robust challenge from Rigg. And the referee will blow the whistle and just call a halt to proceedings. But Sunderland, that was a lovely, lovely move. And I'm with you, I think Chris Rigg's got an absolute age of time just to have a touch and roll it where he wants it.
Yeah, and he knows, because as soon as the goalkeeper sweeps that up, it's hands to face, as if to say, I know I've made a mistake there. And 3-1, I'm not saying it's completely game over, but 2 goals in quick succession like that, it could have really knocked the confidence out of Borough, and made life a lot easier in this second half for Sunderland, but not to be.
No. Well, Derby Day is often defined by fine margins, and that might be one that just keeps Borough in it. But Sunderland are just starting to strut their stuff here. They're starting to show the quality, and now they come forward as they feed it forward towards Rigg. Lays it back to Trey Hume. He finds Patrick Roberts. Back to Hume. 2-1 Sunderland lead, having been behind Delano Bergzorg's goal on 10 minutes. Put Middlesbrough in front, but Dan Neal's deflected effort, and then Wilson Isidore's calm as you like finish puts Sunderland in front. And Middlesbrough at the moment just can't get hold of the ball here, but O'Nien has just got to be aware of his work as he faces his own goal. He turned nicely to find Dan Neal, and Middlesbrough fans furious there. They felt Hackney and co really could have pushed up the field, because you see Fours, you see Bergzorg sprinting there to close players down. You'd be turning around there, Courtney, you'd be furious that there's no red shirts.
Absolutely livid, because I think there was 30 yards between the forward and the midfield line, and I'm thinking, why am I going busting a gut to go and press there if no one's going to come with me? And that's the defensive line as well. They need to push the midfield on.
Yeah, well, now here comes Sunderland. Here is Rigg. You get the feeling there's another goal in the offing here for Sunderland. Ball whipped in. Bellingham couldn't get there, and it's just taken away from Isidore at the far post. In fact, he bounced just behind him. It was just between the pair of the Bellingham and Isidore, and another Sunderland chance goes missing.
Yeah, I criticised Isidore initially for the first one, or the one that we've just seen him maybe sort his feet out quite quickly enough, whereas that one, it's really difficult. The bounce takes it away from him and is concentrating on Joe Bellingham, who just can't quite reach to try and get anything on it.
It's out for a throw in. You're live on Talksport 2. Mark Wilson, Courtney Sweetman Kirk here, live at the Riverside, where Sunderland, if they do manage to get the victory here, will move within 3 points of the top 2. We'll see how Burnley get on tomorrow. They're at home to Oxford. That's live on Talksport 2 as well. You're home of the EFL. Here's Bellingham. Game is starting to open up here, and Sunderland are revelling in it at the moment. Here now is Lefay. Sirkin made a great run, but they didn't find him. They go back to Bellingham instead. He will find Sirkin, who looks up. There are 4 waiting in the middle. He's asked too much of Lefay there, and he couldn't keep it in. Just overcomplicated it there, Dennis Sirkin. No need. Could have got that in the box himself.
Yeah, exactly, and actually even the pass itself into Lefay, he's trying to be a bit too clever with the initial rollover to then push the ball onto his left foot. It's an easy pass.
Yeah, Michael Carrick looks on, not quite as relaxed. I think they're going to make some changes here, Middlesbrough. They do have one of their new signings on the bench, Samuel Illing Jr. about to make his debut, possibly. Tommy Conway on the bench as well. So they have got attacking options on that bench. Middlesbrough. No Emmanuel Latte-Lather, we understand, is finalising a move to Atalanta. As the ball, Atlanta, as the ball works its way into the box. Force coming in, and Patterson just plucks it out of the air. Good hands from the Sunderland goalkeeper.
He does really well, doesn't it? It's exactly what you want from your goalkeeper, to come and command his area. But you mentioned Tommy Conway, and he's coming back from injury.
Well, here's a chance for Borough. They've nicked it. Here's Hackney, launches the shot. What a strike from Hayden Hackney, who levels it up for Middlesbrough with a 20-yard fizzer right in the bottom corner. Sunderland playing out from the back, a court, and Hackney punishes them. Middlesbrough 2, Sunderland 2.
Wow, this is a heck of a strike. And out of nowhere, really, it's been all about Sunderland when they got the second goal and keep pushing for the attack. And we mentioned it should have been 3, and that changes the game, but they don't. And it always gives Middlesbrough a chance. And I love this from Hayden Hackney, the way that he drives forward. He hits through it, and it's so true, the way he strikes it. Finally, they get the press right, Middlesbrough, because that comes through poor playing out from the back. I think it's 09 initially that gives it away. But he's on the front foot in terms of Aidan Morris. It's a little cute ball inside to his midfield partner. And Hayden Hackney does the rest. Here's the side netting. Patterson can't get anywhere near that.
Samuel Lilly Jr. is about to make his debut. He comes into the action while Michael Carrick replaces Finn Azaz. And having got level, he will be delighted with that, because Borough were on the ropes a little bit there, having gone 2-1 behind, but they come up with a response, and it is game very much back on. What a weekend it's been. I tell you what, I saw 7 goals at Ellen Road on Saturday. I saw 7 at the Joy Stadium yesterday, Arsenal, Manchester City ladies, and now 4 tonight. And you get the feeling there's going to be some more as well. Here comes the new boy, Hilling Jr. Lays it in. Big chance here for Force. Force shoots, and it's deflected wide. In fairness, I think the pass was for Whittaker. Had he had taken it, he was in on goal. Force hits the target, but the shot deflected wide.
Yeah, what a brilliant noise now we've got inside this stadium. But you're right, that ball wasn't meant for Force, and it's the difficult one because he's got to try and touch it across to try and generate half a yard. He was almost a little bit behind him, so he had a little bit of work to do. So it was a really difficult effort that was deflected in the end. But yeah, again, the momentum swung.
Oh, Borough wanted a short corner, and the referee, this is my pet hate here, talking to players about pushing and pull. Let them push and pull and then deal with it
exactly
afterwards.
My thoughts exactly.
Yeah, it's the Borough faithful you can hear around the Riverside on Derby Day here. Corner for Middlesbrough. Can they go in front? Ball flicked on by Ayling. It'll fall to the far post here. Here's Bergzorg. Looks to get it out of his feet. He hit it well, and O'Nien stuck out a leg to stop it going any further near a goal, and the break was on there. Wilson Isidore had 70 yards of grass in front of him, and the pass got cut out by the final defender. Talk about taking risks here. Both sides are laying it on the line, going all out for the 3 points, and it's making for a great game here. 2-2 on Talksport 2. Here's Hackney, the goal-scoring hero. Feeds it forward. Comes out to this near side. Here's Giles. Gets it away now back to Hackney. Hackney infield now. Gets it away to Whittaker. Whittaker gets it back into the area. Goes down O'Nien. Did he win the ball? Referee had a good look at it and said he did. Here's Ayling now. Ayling advancing forward. Finds Hackney. He's tackled. Well, this is like basketball now. And here comes Sunderland on the break. If Bellingham can keep this in, the counter is on. Bellingham now racing down the left touchline. Isidore in the box. Roberts breaking the neck to get there with him. Can Bellingham find a pass? He's confronted by 3. He's going to have to go back, I think, and retain possession. Ball from Sirkin. Beautiful touch. Lafay gets him into space, edge of the area. Players backing off him. Can he now find a pass? He'll roll it back to Bellingham, 25 yards out. Gets it away to Medford. He's got Trey Human marked on the right. There are 5 white shirts waiting in the middle. Cross comes in, and it's turned almost into his own net by Edmondson, and it goes behind for a corner. This is proper football. The Championship delivering again. What a game, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. This is fantastic stuff.
Oh, it's brilliant. Where do we start? I think it was a great tackle, by the way, from O'Nien, and I think it was, regardless, outside of the penalty area anyway, but they go up the other end. Sunderland. There's a great little touch in there from Lefay. And it's just breathless stuff at the moment. Neither team giving an inch, and it's wonderful to watch.
It is. Corner about to be swung in for Sunderland, and it's headed away. I've just seen a replay, of that 09 tackle. He got the ball, but I'm not sure he didn't get a bit of the man. But I'm with you, I think it was outside the box anyway. Here now forward come Middlesbrough. Here's Illing Jr., who's agriculturally brought to the turf. And that, I dare say, is going to be our third yellow card of the evening, as the referee just stops play momentarily and says to Joe Bellingham, there's a yellow card. Well, I'm not sure what was in the half-time drinks, but it's certainly livened things up here. 63 on the clock. Bellingham, the latest name in the book. It is 2-2. Well, a great response. Credit, I mean, we praise Sunderland for coming back into it, but credit where it's due for Middlesbrough as well. Hayden Hackney, look, Sunderland play out from the back. We mentioned it right at the start. High risk, high reward. Well, it cost them there, and Hackney's finish was sublime from the edge of the penalty area. And it really has breathed life into this big crowd here at the Riverside. Ball with Hackney now over halfway. Turns it in to Whittaker. He's lost it. Bellingham's going forward again. Oh, now could be a problem. Isidore ball over the top. He's in on goal. Can he get the shot away? He does, and Travers just got a fingertip to it to poke it wide. Now, I think Sunderland will be surrounding the referee here, because for my money, Aidan Morris there, that was a foul, and that possibly could and should have been a second yellow card.
Well, exactly, and then that's the question that's being asked right now. But let's talk about that save. I think Travers does ever so well. Isidore's got no right, really, being pushed wide to get the shot off with as much power as he does that's on target. But I think that the Sunderland players are right. For me, that's a foul and worthy of a yellow card. It should be a second yellow, and we all know what that makes a red.
Just because he's played play on doesn't mean he can't
give
the yellow card. And Travers, in the end, it was a bit of an ungainly save. He didn't quite get down as he would have wanted to, but crucially for him, he did get down and got something behind it. And it's a corner for Sunderland. 25 to go. You're live on Talksport 2. Middlesbrough 2, Sunderland 2. Ball played short to Lefay. Gets it away to Roberts. Tried to switch it in a break. He's got very lucky there, Patrick Roberts, that there was a player sweeping up as Lefay got backed into by Fours, and he's gone down. I don't know, he might have banged his head here. I think the referee's got to stop it, and he does.
Yeah, he has to stop it there, the referee. It's not a foul, but it's a horrendous landing. It's one of those where, a player jumps up and he just gets a little nudge from underneath, and he pretty much lands on his face. It's definitely one that the referee had to stop the game for.
Yeah, he's down. He's not moved since. Hopefully he's okay. 25 minutes remaining here. What a game of football. Chelsea 0, West Ham 1 is live and exclusive over on Talksport right now. Adrian Durham, Sam Matterface and Danny Murphy. In fact, as I speak, I think there has been an equaliser. We'll confirm that for you. Chelsea, I believe, have equalised. Pedro Neto has made it 1-1. Now, it could be a VAR check on that, so we'll let you know in due course. There's a stoppage in play here. Really the first real stoppage. Lefay's rolled over onto his back, which is a good thing, and the player's just taking on board some fluids. There might be a few frantic messages coming out here, Courtney, because the game, it's just gone harem-scarum, hasn't it? Everyone seems to be chasing the ball wherever it is on the field at the minute.
Yeah, exactly, and this is a sort of game that's fantastic to watch for the neutral, but actually I think both managers will be quite happy for the stoppage in play, just to try and get some sensibility into both sides, because it's just been from end to end. It's been so frantic.
Lefay is up on his feet. He's coming back to the sideline. He's just waiting to go back on the field now. Referee's going to give well, Sunderland were in possession of the ball here, so I don't know how we're going to restart this. The referee did call a halt to play, as he had to do, and I think Sunderland will get the ball back here. It is 2-2 at the Riverside. And Sunderland will get it back. They go back to halfway, and we'll get back underway with Sunderland in possession. Meffam has it on halfway. Good challenge went in from Whittaker, but it's deemed he was just a little bit overly aggressive on Dan Neil, and it is a free kick on the halfway line. I think one thing we can say pretty certainly here is that both sides are going to go for the win. I don't think anybody's going to sit back and take the point here. Not on Derby Day. Here's Dan Neil, whose goal levelled it up in the first half for Sunderland.
The thing is, as well, in the context, I don't think a point I mean, I think it does take them back into, obviously, the playoffs. But I think Middlesbrough arguably need the 3 points more than Sunderland, especially being the home side as well. The impetus will be more so on them to go and win the game, and then actually that opens it up for Sunderland, doesn't it? So it's going to be an interesting finish.
Well, here's Roberts, tries to slide rule the ball through for Isidore, who keeps it in, lays it back to Hume. Ball now with Dan Neal, gets it away to Patrick Roberts, 25 yards out, plays a lovely ball to Sirkin, just force him slightly wide. Sirkin stands it up, arriving is Bellingham, ball wouldn't sit down for him, it's cleared up in the air by Middlesbrough, and Vandenberg will head it away. It's brought down again by Roberts, edge of the box, lovely touch, little flick, all the trickery, lays it back here to Hume. Cross wasn't a good one, it's stubbed straight back over Hume's head, and he earns a throw-in after he kicks it off Delano Bergzorg, and it's out for a throw-in, and we are going to get a change for Middlesbrough, and it is Tommy Conway who's about to come on, and he replaces Marcus Fors, who's worked hard but couldn't quite find the back of the net when opportunity presented itself.
He works hard for us, but it's not the role down the middle he really wants to be playing in. And you're thinking about this, Tommy Conway coming back from injury, but it's probably looking over his shoulder now. Ian Atcho's obviously been announced just before the game, so he'll feel it'll be important to put a big performance in tonight.
Yeah, he will. Over on Talksport it is. Chelsea 1, West Ham 1. Here it's 2-2. Tommy Conway into the action, will lead the line. O'Nien brings it forward for Sunderland, and well, look at that. Isidore and Rigg were both in on Edmondson, and in fact passes 10 yards either side of Edmondson. He's in big trouble there. Again, just one simple ball over the top. Middlesbrough though come back the other way. Here's Giles to Hackney, who's had a good game, capped off with that wonder strike to level it up at 2-2. Morris, who I think will be counting himself very fortunate he's still on the field, gets the ball away over on the far side. Illing Jr., newly signed, cuts in off the wing. He looks big and athletic, and he's got plenty of skill. Ball works its way to Ayling. He side foots it here into the edge of the area. Go for the far post. It was Whittaker. Didn't quite have the power on the shot to beat Patterson. And Patterson down low, saves comfortably, still 2-2.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Morgan Whittaker. He always forces it onto his left foot. I don't think he's one of those players that can really play off both sides that well, and that's where I think he would have been better served to bring it onto his right hand side and take the strike on. But as you say, when he does pull it onto that left hand side, he needs to get more power through the ball, because it was tame at best.
Yeah, it was. Still 2-2, 20 minutes remaining. There will be a little bit of added on time. We're about to see a change for Sunderland here. You see Salis Abdul Samed about to come on. Sunderland playing out from the back. They're just getting stuck in a bit of a sticky spot here, and Rigg in the end, his dummy just called out Hackney, and the ball goes out for a throw-in, and here comes the change. It'll be interesting who the change is here. Sunderland, the fourth official, just putting the numbers in, and it is going to be Chris Rigg. So they revert back to the 11 that got a point with Plymouth last time out. Chris Rigg makes way, had that great chance, didn't he, at 2-1, that really, what was he, 12 yards out, goal unguarded, and he managed somehow to hit it at the goalkeeper who was lying on the floor.
Yeah, I think he almost got a little bit overexcited, and instead of just taking that time to compose himself and take a touch, that the moment was already gone.
So Chris Rigg makes way, and here now come Middlesbrough. Are we going to get a winner? 2-2 here on Talksport 2. Ball with Middlesbrough, just forcing Sunderland back a little bit. Here now is Hackney. Hackney on the left touchline, drives towards goal. Gets the ball to Bergzorg. Bergzorg works it centre field now to Vandenberg. He finds Ayling. Ayling has got Illing Jr. outside him, but Illing Jr. was beaten to it. He was waiting there for the ball to come to him, and Sunderland nicked it away, and it's another ball over the top, and Dan Neal gets in, but he can't control it, and Edmondson just nicks it away from Isidore. What on earth are Middlesbrough doing defensively here? Now the camera is on here, and they come forward down their left-hand side. Here's Bergzorg, got the opening goal of this frenetic game. Seems an eternity ago now. Bergsorg almost got in the way, did get in the way, but he finds a teammate, finds Ayling 25 yards out. Ayling's touch is a poor one, and the ball poked away from goal. Vandenberg will collect it. Sunderland not really trying to get out at the moment. They're just looking to contain here. Zilling Jr. tries to play it forward. He's dispossessed, and now the counter could be on here. Lefay has it on halfway, needs support, got caught. That'll be a free kick. Twice now in the last 5 minutes. One just ball straight over the top. That time George Edmondson was caught out. Luckily for him, Dan Neil couldn't control it.
Well, there's two components to this. I think Edmondson looks shaky. He's made a couple of mistakes, big mistakes in the game. But as well, that direct ball shouldn't be able to happen. They need to be able to cut it off at Salisbury because it's a real problem so far, and especially now the fact that the change with Salis Abdul Samed coming on means that Joe Bellingham's going to be a little bit higher where Chris Rigg would have been, so that's another thing to contend with as well.
It is. Throwing for Sunderland. 73 gone. 2-2 here. Point would take Borough into the top 6. But it would leave Sunderland 5 off the top 2. They need a win here to close it to 1 win. Still 1-1 over on Talksport. If you got the app, you can swipe left and right and listen to the 2 games. And you'll need it as well, given the amount of football we've got coming up for you over the next week or two. We've got Women's League Cup action. We've got the Carabao Cup semi-final second legs. We've got FA Cup action. A plethora of it across the week. And Sunderland have it, and they now look to come forward up towards halfway. Yeah, point would lift Sunderland on to 56. There'll be 5 points behind Sheffield United, who are second in the table. There'll be 7 behind leaders Leeds, and they meet Leeds live on Talksport 2, 17th of February. That'll be live and exclusive on Talksport 2. Leeds Sunderland from Ellen Road. Sunderland have it, circling down that far touchline, and it went out of play in front of the Sunderland faithful over on the far side. 15 and a bit minutes to go. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, are we going to get a winner?
I think we are. I'd be very surprised if we don't see another goal. Honestly, not sure which way that it will go. I still think Sunderland look a little bit more composed on the ball, but the way this momentum keeps swinging either way in this game, I wouldn't put it past Middlesbrough either to get that winner.
No, and I think, as we said earlier, the good thing about it, they're both trying to get it, and that in itself makes for what should be a pretty open last 15 minutes or so. A couple of free kicks just called by the referee. Now Sunderland advance forward. Here's Patrick Roberts. He's played well tonight. He's had a lot of the ball on this right-hand side. He looks up. He's got defenders backing away from him, but 2 of them to get past, and they show him inside. He looks to work the ball into the feet there of Neil, who was bundled over. Referee's not having any of that. And then the substitute there, Abdul Samed, he thunders into the tackle, and that most definitely is a free kick.
Yeah, there might have been a bit of an argument about the first one, but there was definitely none about that. Abdul Samed straight through the back.
Well, there's been a third goal at Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea have turned it round, and it's that man Cole Palmer who's got the goal. It's Chelsea 2, West Ham 1. It's live, closing stages of it live over on Talksport. That'll be followed immediately by Jim White, Alex Crook, and the Peterborough chairman Darren McAntony giving all the lowdown on the close of the transfer window. The Sports Bar, Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant will be here on Talksport 2, and no doubt they were lining up. Has anyone seen Chelsea? But that might be getting put on the back burner. We just got a stoppage in play here. One of the flag, I mentioned it's a bit windy. One of the advertising banners behind the goal has just blown onto the field, and the referees had to have it moved.
I don't want a weird moment. What was the infamous beach ball moment, wasn't it?
Talksport's very own Darren Ben. That's what the referee there, not messing around. There were 2 young lads trying to pull the banner off. He just went and picked it up and chucked it over the back of the byline.
He's been on the weights, the ref.
Yes. We're back in play. Although the referee's just said to Middlesbrough, give it to the goalkeeper, and we'll start again, which is what we do. We've got 13 minutes and any added on time remaining. You're live on Talksport 2 at the Riverside. Dancer Mickey Gray will be at Turf Moor tomorrow for Burnley against Oxford. Ball on halfway here, but it's given away by Bergzorg, and he brings down Dan Neil, and he's going to get a yellow card. That was a little bit cynical from Bergzorg. In fairness, Neil might have been away there. There were plenty of defenders in front of him, but he had a bit of space to run into.
Yeah, he did, and I think it's getting to the point now as well where there's a few tired challenges. Both sets of players have put an enormous amount of energy into these 78 minutes, and just see there's a few stretching out as well. Maybe a little bit of cramp starting to set in, and say when you're fatigued in your mind as well, you start making silly decisions.
Yeah, there might be a few more desperate tackles to come in the closing stages here. Are we going to get a winner on Derby Day? The Tees Weir Derby, as Hume whips it in towards the edge of the box, headed away by Middlesbrough. Lefay's touch for the first time wasn't great, but he still gets it back and then tries to win a tackle that he was not going to win. The ball forward is just overhit, and it can't be kept in. Over on the far side by Morgan Whittaker, who certainly first 20 minutes when Middles were on top, he looked really lively. He's struggled to get in the game as much, hasn't he, since that point?
Yeah, I think the way that initially he started really well with Aylan, and that partnership looked really promising, but as the game's gone on, he's dwindled a little bit. The opportunities where he's got on the ball, to say, he's very left-footed, so I think sometimes for defenders he's quite predictable, and they've dealt quite well with him in that sense.
Sunderland have it inside their own half, work it forward to Bellingham. Bellingham back inside his own half to Abdul Samed. Bellingham just dropping back in his own half, gets it to 09, who finds Trey Hume, who fires the pass to Meffam. Wasn't the best pass that, and Meffam all of a sudden is running back to his own goal, and 09 may just choose to go long here. He will. Bellingham is giving chase. Vandenberg gets in a bit of a mess, but got just enough of it, and works it back to Travers, who has it, and he'll work it out on this near side to Edmondson. And he's level with the edge of his own area. It is still 2-2 here. The chances have dried up a little bit since Middlesbrough levelled. Here's Roberts dancing his way down the touchline, and is he going to get himself a corner there? He is. It's a corner off Ryan Giles, and now a chance for Sunderland here as we go into the final 10 minutes.
I feel like we've not had a corner for absolutely ages in this second half.
Well, they've got one now down their right. It's going to be an in-swinger again. Wilson Isidore stands 6 yards out. Travers waits on his Borough debut, hoping not to be beaten for a third time here. Plenty of movement in the box. Ball whipped into the 6-yard box. Good header away from Edmondson. Proper centre-half's header that. 6 yards out from his own goal. No nonsense. Here's Bellingham, who might be offside. He is offside. And that was a bit of a waste for Sunderland.
Yeah, it really was when you've got numbers up as well.
We're about to see Eliza Mayenda coming on here, and he will replace Wilson Isidore up top. So it's an attacking substitution, even if it is like for like here by Regis Lebris for Sunderland. Mayenda coming into the action, and Isidore, who's had very few chances, but the one he had, he took beautifully. Great finish to put Sunderland in front.
Yeah, it really was, and I think this substitute is just about energy, isn't it? He's put so much into it, Isidore, and despite not having too much opportunities to get on the ball, he's ran himself ragged, so they'll be hoping that Mayenda just has that little bit of energy in the final, and it'll be 9 minutes and whatever we have added.
Ball now works its way forward. Here now on the near side is Giles. Giles feeds it in here, looking to try and get away. Is Whittaker, who put in a good cross on his left foot, but it's claimed by Patterson, and he'll bowl it out here to Abdul Samed, and he just lays the ball off to Trey Hume, and maybe fatigue is just starting to kick in. It's not quite as frantic and as quick as it was before. There's a lot of walking now. But here now comes Meffam, looking to try and get the visitors forward again. They were behind. Bergzorg put Borough in front inside 10 minutes. Lovely finish one-on-one with the keeper. Dan Neil's deflected strike levelled it up before Wilson Isidore. One-on-one with Travers, basically sat him down and walked straight past him, walked it into the net for 2-1. Then Hayden Hackney, after Sunderland got caught playing out from the back, Hackney's shot from 20 yards out, nestled nicely in the bottom corner. I just wonder about that big chance for Chris Rigg at 2-1.
Yeah, if that goes in, it's 3-1. It's a completely different game. I think Middlesbrough heads drop. I'm not saying they were completely down and out at that point, but it would have made it very difficult.
Yeah, and Travers was laying on the ground in one half of the goal. Rigg hit it straight in the middle of the goal, and Travers just stuck an arm out and stopped it. A yard further across the goal, and it would have been a goal, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I think, especially with the fact that, yes, there were defenders in the box, but I do think he had the time to take that touch and just slow himself down and slow the situation down. But hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
It is. It is. And it is now 2-2. We're inside the final 8. On Talksport 2, Sports Bar to come. Sunderland attack again. Middlesbrough just backing off. Here's Hume now, advances midway inside the Borough half, finds Roberts. Roberts had an option of a quick pass, didn't take it, cuts in onto his left foot. Again they force him across goal, he's weaving his way across, tries to thread it through. He's trying to thread it through there almost impossibly, but he gets it back, finds Lefay. Lefay now, he fancies a run, looks for the give and go. They lay it back to Hume, he's got time to shoot, he is going to shoot, and it's straight at Travers. And it just went past the back of Edmondson en route. Could have taken a deflection again, but Travers has everything behind it, and we stay level at 2-2.
Exactly. It's not a bad idea, though, from Hume to take that on. He hits it relatively well. It bounced in front of Travers, so it could have made it difficult, but he's all behind it, isn't he, Travers? But I think, as we've seen earlier on in the game, sometimes it does take a deflection and go your way.
Yeah, ball played forward. Here back to goal on the near side is Bergzorg. He earns a free kick. I think the referee's maybe given a few more free kicks second half that he didn't give first half, and that's just stopped the play a little bit. Burnley Oxford tomorrow night, live and exclusive Talksport 2. Then Wednesday, Thursday, it's a double header of League Cup semi-final action in the women's competition and in the Carabao Cup as well. You've got the Talksport app, you can swipe left and right between the two. Don't forget, coming up at the end of the week as well, live on the Talksport network, the Super Bowl from New Orleans, as the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday night. That'll be live with Will Gavin and the team, as the ball over the top is looking to get Conway away. He's barely had a touch, has he, Tommy Conway, since he came on?
Yeah, it's been difficult for him to impose himself on the game. It's Sunderland that have carried most of the possession.
Ball with Sunderland then, 5 to go. Remember, a draw here, and they are 5 behind the top 6. Ball over the top, they're looking to get Mayenda in. Travers is backed off. Well, I'm not sure whether that was a great bit of judgment or he's got a little bit fortunate there, because if Mayenda gets any kind of touch on that, he's in on goal.
Exactly. I mean, he'll tell you that he's got his angles right, but for me, it looked a little bit iffy.
Yeah, it looked like he was edging his bets to me. Here's O'Nien, does well. Sirkin plays it forward, not the best pass from Sirkin. And the ball picked up by Middlesbrough. Well, I don't want to say it's petered out, because the intent is still there from both sides, maybe just lacking the quality at the moment. There's now a ball forward. Illing Jr.'s trying to get on the end of it, but O'Nien this time has got his angles right in his first two, and he finds Patterson, who will waste no time in getting it downfield. We're inside the final 4. You're live on Talksport 2. It's Middlesbrough 2, Sunderland 2. Maybe the next goal might just be the winner, as in the end Abdul Samed does well, and then bundled over is Dan Neal. The referee says play on, and Roberts, great footwork again. Then he knocks it down the line looking for Mayenda, and Edmondson's cleared it away, and he's going to have to sprint back to keep this in. He squared it back to Travers, who left-footed clears it away, only as far as Abdul Samed, but his header's a poor one. But it's intercepted by O'Nien, and O'Nien moves it wide quickly to Enzo Lefay, whose touch is great. He's into the area. Can he produce a cross? He does. Diving in, it's turned in. It's an own goal. Giles turns into his own net, and Sunderland lead at the Riverside. Drama here at the end. Enzo Lefay's magical touch got him in behind. He drilled in the cross, and there was nothing Giles could do about it. It's Middlesbrough 2, Sunderland 3.
This touch, by the way, from Lefay, it is absolutely exceptional. It's incredible the way that he brings it down on the first touch, drives the ball in front of him, so he's got so much space, and then you're thinking, can you pick out a pass? Well, my word, the quality on the ball in the box, and always taught this as footballers, if the quality in the box of the ball is good enough, it doesn't matter who it comes off, but it will go in the back of the net. And that's what we've seen there. It's really unfortunate for Giles. There's nothing that he can do about it, but this ball is whipped across the 6-yard box. It's got bags of curl on it as well, and it just hits Giles. He can't get out the way quickly enough, but the first touch is something different. It really is.
Ian Poveda about to come on for Sunderland, for Patrick Roberts, who I think has been outstanding tonight. He is going to make way here. Well, we've been talking about him all night, Enzo Lefebvre. Just that touch to take him away from Ayling. Thinks he's got him covered. One touch and he's gone. And he drills in the cross, and Ryan Giles will switch the ground and open up and swallow him up. There was absolutely no... He just couldn't get out of the way of it. An own goal on Derby Day. And it might be a match winner for Sunderland as well, unless Middlesbrough can come back again. They've got 2 minutes plus added on time. Will Sunderland sit back? Will they invite Middlesbrough on, or can they see it out? Here is Giles looking to atone from his error, but he's got nowhere to go in front of him. Goes back to Hackney. It's all a bit sluggish, this, from Middlesbrough. For the first time tonight, their fans frustrated here. Ayling gets it away. Ayling Jr.'s ball is a hopeful one. He's got to maybe respect the ball a little bit more than that. And it's hacked away and out in the touch over on the far side. What a game it's been. And, well, in many ways, it'll be a sad way to determine it, but it was a great bit of skill that forced the error. I'm not sure he could have done much more. Michael Carrick looks on. His side have led and levelled here, but at the moment looks like they're coming up empty at the Riverside. And they'll stay outside the top 6 unless they can get a goal. Crossfield ball is too hard, and Sunderland will watch it roll out of play. And it's the Sunderland fans, maybe 2,000-3,000 of them here, who you can hear over on that far side. They've not won here in the league for nearly 20 years. Regis Lebris, you can just see pointing to his head, say, keep calm, keep working hard. They're nearly there. It's not been the happiest of hunting grounds, and a win would put them within 3 points of Sheffield United. There's some big games coming up in the next few weeks here, as Mayenda is played in by Bellingham, and Mayenda cuts in towards the area. It's a tight angle. He's going to say Lassett comes back off the keeper, and Trevor's made a much better save second time than he did the first time, and the danger averted. It didn't look a lot on for Mayenda. His shot maybe caught Travers by surprise. How lacking it was in power, but the follow-up well saved. 5 minutes added on. We're into them now.
Yeah, there was nothing else that Mayenda could have done there for me, because he's looking across the line thinking, can I play someone in? Can I find a teammate? But there's no one there, and takes the shot on. And you're right, Travers makes a hash really of the first one, but atones for his error second time of asking.
With the ball down the right end of the field as far as Sunderland are concerned. We're into 5 added on minutes here at the Riverside. 3-2 Sunderland lead. Ryan Giles on goal on 87 minutes. A cruel twist of fate for Middlesbrough tonight, who led and then equalised. And Sunderland just hoping to see this game out. The first time in over 60 years that they will have done the league double over Middlesbrough. That is a phenomenal stat. Not quite done yet, but they're pretty close to it. They won't get much closer than this. Ayling Jr. skips away from his man, but that was an interesting clearance there from Abdul Samad. He could have just rolled it in the touch. He rifled it into the stand. The multi-ball system means the ball's back in play already. We've had 1 of the 5 minimum added on minutes here. Mark Wilson, Courtney Sweetman, Kirk with you here live at the Riverside tonight. What a game it's been. What a great advert for the Championship. The twists and turns, there may be more to come. Hackney coming forward, they're back off him. He lays it now to Conway. Conway feeds it, tried to feed it wide. Sirkin got enough of it and thumps it away. I can see more and more red seats emerging. Maybe the home faithful have given up hope here. Some of them making their way back to the cars will no doubt be listening on the Talksport app as they do so. And the ball now is wide on the Middlesbrough right. Sunderland have got 3 and a bit minutes to see out here. Can Middlesbrough fashion up a third goal and level up this game? They have it wide with Ayling. Ayling Thought he was going to put it in. There's 4 red shirts wide on the edge of the area. They're all a little bit central. They maybe need to spread out a little bit here. Ball now works its way wide. There's nowhere for Edmondson to go. There's no movement in front of him. He finds a pass to Morris. Morris in the centre circle will make it forward here now. And now there's a chance here as they work their way forward, but Sunderland intercept it through Sirkin, and that is another foul. And I just thought for a moment there that the referee was going to go to his pocket. Aidan Morris it was who bumped into, but it was more an obstruction than a foul, and the referee's happy to let play go on with only a free kick.
He's lucky though, Morris. He's taking a risk, and the earlier opportunity for him to potentially be sent off was, it was a foul. There's no doubt about that. So even if it's just for accumulation, that one, I think he's lucky to get away with that.
Yeah, well, he got a booking and should have had a second. Got away with it. He's still on the field as the ball is knocked downfield by the Sunderland goalkeeper Patterson, who in fairness, other than the goal, hasn't really had anything to do in the second half, and he was helpless with a goal. He couldn't keep it out of the back of the net. It was a fine finish. Might be needed once before the end of the game as Meffam just clears it away, and Sunderland I think are happy now with what they've got. They know if they can keep Borough out for the last couple of minutes, they'll be within 3 points of Sheffield United. It's all warming up nicely at the top. It is getting very, very interesting, as it always does at the top. And the bottom of the Championship, the EFL, will be covered all the way through to its conclusion this season live on Talksport and Talksport 2. Great skill by Giles on the near side. Finds Hackney. Hackney's ball over the top. There's a slip. Ayling heads it into the box. O'Nien diving header saves the day for Sunderland. Can they launch a counter? They might do here. If they want to be brave, they could launch a counter. And it's the substitute, Abdul Samed. He's got 2 waiting, 3 waiting in the middle. He finds one now. Here's a chance to win it for Poveda, who falls over the ball. Poveda with a goal at his mercy. Then he slides back and he might be penalised. He will. He's going to get himself a yellow card. Well, he could have been the match winner, but he ends up getting booked for his troubles.
Well, that was the moment, wasn't it, to wrap it up and do it emphatically. And Poveda, I think, is too busy trying to shift it onto his left foot, gets caught underneath his feet. That one, you can hit it first time, just let it come across your body, but the moment's gone.
Yeah. And now Borough back on the attack. We're inside the final few seconds of the 5 minimum added on minutes. Ball headed away. Abdul Samed clears it. Dan Neal will just lump it high in the sky. Sunderland waiting for the whistle to blow here. Now they've got a free kick, and they are nearly there. They are nearly home here at the Riverside. They've got a free kick, and we have played the 5 additional added on minutes. Sunderland were behind early on. They led through Neal and Isidore before Hackney levelled it up. But Ryan Giles turned into his own net with 3 minutes left, and it's a result that will keep Middlesbrough out of the top 6 in the Championship, and it will move Sunderland to within 1 win of second place and an automatic promotion spot. A third of the season left to go, but those Sunderland fans here at the Riverside are believing they have done the double. They have beaten their local rivals Middlesbrough by 3 goals to 2. An entertaining match that twisted one way then the other, but it was denied in a cruel fashion for Middlesbrough to get the point they needed to get in the top 6. Ryan Giles turning and Enzo Lafay crossing to his own net, and that was enough. And Sunderland celebrate here at the Riverside. It's a big, big win for Regis Lebris' young side. They have beaten Middlesbrough by 3 goals to 2. And in the end, I think the best team has won.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think, especially in the second half, well, they ended the first half actually really well and looked to be the better team in the second half. And actually, arguably, that Middlesbrough goal, the equaliser, came against the run of play. But I always felt that Sunderland were the ones that were really going to push on. And they had the moments as well, Borough. We can't deny that, especially in the first half. I think they'll look back at that and feel there's a missed opportunity with some of the opportunities that they missed in the first half. So Isidore is going over, celebrating with the fans and taking the flag out as if to say, this is our patch. And on Derby Day, that's a real big statement.
It is indeed. He's got the flag raised up high. I think he's going to be advised to put it back from where he got it. No need for any Graham Souness style flag planting in the middle of the fields. But it is the Sunderland faithful who are in full voice here. Sunderland win and move within 3. Watford at home for them, then Luton at home. They go away to Leeds, at home to Hull. So 3 of their next 4 at the Stadium of Light. It's Sheffield United away from Middlesbrough next up. Then they're at home to Watford. So a tough little run coming up for Middlesbrough. Stay on the outside. Over on Talksport, closing stages. Chelsea 2, West Ham United 1. Jarrod Bowen put West Ham in front before Chelsea turned it around. They got the equaliser from Pedro Neto. I think the winner has gone down as a Wan-Bissaka own goal. We thought Cole Palmer got it, but it's a Wan-Bissaka own goal. It's Chelsea 2, West Ham 1. Don't forget you can get the closing stages of the transfer window over on Talksport tonight. Jim White, Alex Crook and the Peterborough chairman Darren McCanton. He'll be talking you through all the moves as they happen in the closing stages. Sports Bar's up next here on Talksport 2. Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant taking your calls on 03717223344. Sunderland closing in, and boy, I tell you what, they are enjoying this victory. They're still out there, the players celebrating with the fans. It's been a long time, nearly 20 years since they won here. They do right to enjoy it.
Yeah, too right. And Isidore is massively milking it. He's got his shirt back on now that was aloft on the corner flag. He's got a Sunderland scarf. He's in now, actually in with the fans, hugging, celebrating. But you don't get many of these days as a footballer, and sometimes you're so focused on what's happening next or training the next couple of days or the next game. So, you know what, I'm glad for these players that they're having a moment to actually enjoy it, because it's really important, especially when you're retired like me. These are the best parts of the game.
They're still out there celebrating. It was a game that twisted and turned. Delano Berg's a wonderful finish, played in one-on-one, calm finish, but Borough at the time deservedly in front. But Daniel's deflected shot just after the half-hour mark took a wicked deflection past Travers, who couldn't keep it out. It was 1-1 at the break, but Sunderland came out and dominated second half. Lovely through ball from Lefay, found Isidore in acres of space, bearing down on goal. He waited for Travers to make the move, and Travers almost dived out of his way. Isidore just walked it into the net. Hayden Hackney levelled up on 58 with a wonderful finish to level the game up. It looked like it was going to end a draw, but Lefay again with another cross drilled into the box. Ryan Giles couldn't get out of the way, and it went in off the Borough man. It's Sunderland then who are 3 points off the top 2. Thanks to Courtney Sweetman Kirk. Thanks to you. Don't forget the Sports Bar is up next. The boys taking your calls on all things football. Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant up next. But here from the Riverside, it's ended. It's delight for Sunderland. Finally, they win at the Riverside. They've beaten Middlesbrough by 3 goals to 2.